Number 447. How's it going? Look out, it's only me.
Wait.
What's the matter?
Yeah, it is 447.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry. With Pete Davis, sidekick, producer.
Present.
Interrupter Maximus.
Sorry.
Here with the, and a sports raconteur extraordinaire and published author, by the way, with
Yes, sir.
Holy Crap, We Hate Oklahoma and Texas Together Upside Down book. What's it called again? The name of the Inside Out Upside Down book where the cover's different on either side?
That's I love Texas. I hate Oklahoma.
There you go. I knew it was something like that. I get the title
I
wrong
don't hate Oklahoma.
I get the title wrong every time. Anyway, and
Big star.
anyway, boys, here we go. It's summertime. My daughter comes in tomorrow, and she'll be with us here on the show Friday. We will not be doing a show Monday. It's 4th of July, and we're taking it off. And that's the way it goes, and I don't feel guilty. What's the matter? No, it's true. Okay, we got a bunch. We're going to talk about the hearing. We'll talk about the lies about Trump. We'll talk about trying to climb over the Secret Service from the back seat to grab hold of the wheel.
Can you believe that?
And they said it was a lie. I mean, we'll get all that. And
I don't care if it did happen.
I
don't care.
Absolutely. And throwing food against the wall. Who hasn't done that, by the way? And if I were president and they'd done that, and I'd seen that stuff, I'd have thrown a hamburger against the wall.
He's a better president than we have now. He's a better
Right.
president than most of the
I know.
presidents, except one in my lifetime.
I know. Save it. Save it.
The
We'll
world
get-
was better.
I know. We'll get to all of it. And again,
So I don't care.
Compare what was going on under Trump with America and the world. Compare what's going on now. I mean, come on. That's all he would have to do to win again if that would be all it is. I don't think that would ever happen. But if that was the issue, my stuff against his stuff, you can't lose.
If you prefer now,
Yeah.
then you want.
Are you better off
you
now
want
than
bad
you were
things
4
to
years
happen.
ago? Remember the old thing in the 60s? Was it Jimmy Carter? No, it was before him, even Nixon maybe? Who was it who started that? Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Somebody made that a famous, and it worked.
Reagan.
Was it Reagan? I think it was Reagan. I think it was Reagan against Jimmy Carter. That's right. That's exactly what it was. And again, of course, Reagan was not a firebrand as much as. Of course, he did say the Russian bombing starts in 5 minutes. That was pretty
joke.
provocative. Anyway, we'll get to we'll talk about all that. We got issues. We got topics. We got things to talk about. I mean, geez, we got all this. And a couple of personal things I want to get out of the way. Also, we'll talk about the change in Fox News. A couple of real woke items in the news today. Incredible story about the tractor-trailer truck semi at the border. Ghislaine Maxwell's sentence amends a baby. Hollywood cuts its cops. We got a whole bunch of things. Also, we'll talk more about Freddie Freeman and what just happened that led to. Well, and I want to see what your take is on. And speaking of that, when's next Holy Crap at Sports? And that's what I want to talk to you about too.
And Serena Williams.
Because didn't we know, and Serena things too. So we'll get to all
We
that.
got breaking news. According
All right.
to The Onion,
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell's sentence has been reduced
Oh,
because of all the great work she's done with children over the years.
well, there you are. She brought a lot of smiles to a lot of
She's given of herself.
over and over, apparently. Anyway, we'll get to that. First of all, I got a bizarre story, and before I start, let me remind you, if you go to thekimmershow.net, you can get everything you want concerning the podcast, the radio station Extra 106.3. You'll get an address if you want to send us a check, for which we are very grateful. If you want to get onto PayPal, patreon.com/KimmerShow, you could sign up there. If you want to send us a thing on PayPal, go to the Kimmer Show podcast page. Anyway, it's all that, thekimmershow.net. Links to everything, the Friday morning call-in stuff, the Saturday podcast. And the reason I'm saying this is because we really would love to have you offer us a subscription or a donation or whatever, because remember the other day I was talking about the slow leak in my left rear tire. Okay. This is like number 6 or 7 living in
this
Alpharetta,
month's.
because it's just, there are nails everywhere in construction, nothing but barrels and plates and everything else. So I keep getting these slow leak in my tires. And I love the tires. They're great. They're Michelin top line. They're great tires for that car. Okay, so I had a slow leak. So I took it in, and I knew something bad was going to happen, because as I looked at the tire to fill it up every day to make sure it's filled with my portable filler, I saw that they were on the outside were kind of wearing a little bit funny, There still had some tread in there, but they were wearing a little funny. So I took them to the guy, and he came out. He put up the car, and he says, "This is Nick at Pep Boys, the one near those car dealers on Alfred Highway." And Nick said, and he's a great young guy. He salutes me all the time because I was a Marine. And he said, "I'm sorry, you need 4 new tires. You need 4 tires." I mean, the cord is almost showing on all 4 inside tires, which I hadn't seen. But I knew that was true. It has 11,000 miles, and for a high torque muscle car, that's good tire mileage. I never got 11,000 on my other hot rods ever. I got 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe. I got 11 on these Michelin, so I'm happy about that. But here's a problem. And again, I'm sorry, it's a personal story, but I want to salute him. It's the miracle on 34th Street. Do you recall the actual story, the point of the miracle on 34th Street?
That little girl's lie.
A little girl's lie. No, silly. Well, that's one lie. That's one point. The point was that the Santa Claus was at Macy's and told people to go to Gimbel's because they had stuff that Macy's didn't have.
Yeah.
And everybody went nuts. And then he said, wait a minute, that's the Christmas spirit. He's willing to, tell people what the right thing because it's the honest right thing to do. And everybody's, and they were overjoyed. I mean, that was the spirit of the miracle on 34th Street, was sharing and giving and not being selfish, and the Christmas spirit, right? Okay, among other things. Okay, so I'm at Pep Boys with Nick yesterday. Young guy, he's probably 25. And he said, and I said, okay. I said, can you order them? And he said, oh, let me check. So he calls his distributors. And I've gotten my tires there because they always give me a good price, and they get them there in a day, and then he put them on when I want to, and I'm all set. So I've been very happy with them at Pep Boys. He calls his distributors. The tires on this car, on this rather high torque, high horsepower car, are different on the front and rear. Are yours also? I assume your front tires are different from the back?
Yeah, I've gotten 24,000 miles on them, though.
Well, again, you don't have the kind of torque. I mean, again, I'm sure that's true. But not on not on these cars that I have. Okay, so he said, and the problem is that they're a different size on the front than they are on the rear, and they're both they're
You have
huge
four-wheel
tires.
drive.
No.
Then it shouldn't be doing that.
Pete, I'm telling you, on muscle cars built like this, I'm sorry you don't realize this when you're training as a muscle car tire expert, the front wheels are not the same as the rear wheels. You cannot rotate the tires. When they go bad, you change them. You get rid of them. You don't rotate them because they're different on the front than they are in the back. They just are. They torque that way. The thing has got almost 800 horsepower. So that, anyway. So he says, well, so then he calls the distributors and they say, oh, we can't get those. He said, we mean you can't get those. Well, they won't let it. We can't order those. We don't have them, and we don't have access to them. So I said, well, he said, well, he said, honestly, he said, I hate to say this, but you probably should just go to Butler. He says, in fact, I'll call him for you. So he called Butler Tires in Alpharetta or Johns Creek, and he told him what I needed, the 2 different sizes, front and rear, and 4 tires. Are they there? Can you do them? He said, yeah, and the guy, you can bring them in, do them. So he sent me to Butler Tires to give them the business. And the reason that is significant is because, and I hate to say this, and you're going to yell at me because it makes me sound like I'm an idiot, which I am. And I never should have done this whole deal if I had thought about it twice. Here's the situation. Those tires on that car are $600 a piece. Along with the alignment, it was a $2,800 bill yesterday that I charged on my screaming credit card. $2,800 for tires.
You're an idiot.
And so now I'm thinking, and poor Nick, he lost that sale.
He's got a deal with Butler.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, don't even tease about that. I hope he doesn't get fired. I mean, if somebody says
you've outed him.
Well, but I guarantee if he gets fired, I'll get him another job better than he's paying right now. That's my pledge. I know, but I promise you, I'll take care of him. I promise you that. His name is Nick. He's at the Pep Boys near
God.
the. Okay, but anyway, now here's the thing. He gave me this thing. And it's a pamphlet, and it says 5-star service. We value your feedback. Review us on Google, and it's one of those little hazy maze pictures.
Yeah, you do your phone.
Okay, how do I do? I don't know how to do it.
You're going to take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then it'll tell you what to do. Now, do not mention what he did for you. Just say he did great above the service.
Do I type that or what? Should I do this later?
No, we'll do it right now. It'll show you what to do.
And take a picture, you mean?
No, don't take a picture. Just point at it. Like
Point
you're
the
going
phone
to
at
take
it?
a picture.
Okay.
Something should pop up. Something popping up?
No.
Your phone's broken.
I'm just holding the phone.
Okay, you're
right?
not taking a picture with a blank screen. Take a picture.
Well, you said don't take a picture.
But you do like you're going to take a picture.
There it is. Google.com.
And then you hit that, and it tells you what to do.
Oh, you hit Google.com?
Yeah, and it takes you right there.
Well, it disappeared.
Well, because you took it off.
All right. It flashed on and then it disappeared. Okay, here we go.
All right, let's do this.
Google. Okay, so now I've got this. All right, but now can I go back to my regular page and do this later? All right, anyway.
We'll just do it again.
And I also, well, okay, do you want me to? I don't want to type
All
on all
right,
this stuff now, right?
yeah,
Okay,
we've
hit the
lost
bell. Hit the
Flounder.
bell. Okay, I want you guys also to do a 5-star review for him with me.
Okay.
The three of us after the show because he deserves it, and I'd hate to see him get in
gonna
trouble.
lie. Is that what
We're gonna, yes, you are, but you're gonna do it for him. Anyway, thank you, Nick. Miracle on 34th Street, and again, I'm sorry to make this whole personal thing, but when somebody does something like that, that's so nice these days and
very
age. I mean, that was expensive for him. I'm sure he probably would, be benefited from that. So I feel bad and guilty, and I thank him, and I make sure he gets his due. Okay, I won't make this really long.
That's what she said.
Thank you. As you know, for some reason, I'm getting a lot of spam calls. Are you guys getting more
Yes,
than normal?
In fact, I'm getting the thing from Chase and Netflix saying that your account's blah, 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 to contact us, and it's all fake. It's all bullcrap.
Well, in the last, yesterday, the last 2 days, one day to every day, I've been getting at least 3 or 4 spam calls. And here's the problem. I don't, I've mentioned before, I don't answer my phone unless I know the number or if it says who it is. On the problem is the other day I got a 404 area code number and I didn't answer it, and it was from my hearing, ear, nose, throat clinic people. So I said, oh crap. So now I've started, if it's a 404 area, I take a chance and answer it. Well, I'm getting spam calls.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing. In fact, one of them said, it was a message, and it said, we understand you're disputing your charges. Please call us at so-and-so. And, of course, I had no idea what that was, so I just erased it and blocked it. There was one, I'm not making this up. There was a message that I didn't answer and played it back later, and it said, we've noticed an unusual charge on your credit card account from Vietnam. Have you been shopping in Vietnam lately? Swear to God, Vietnam? That?
Every now and then I'll get some of those too, and thankfully that's what you have. That's what it's there for. Is
Well, you're on Ambien, and you forgot.
Apparently I did. I might have gone
that,
there
or it's
again.
just whoever the hackers could be next door to you, and they're just bouncing it to a server for traceability.
I guess. And I answered one call live, and this is when I let them all, the rest of them go to voicemail after the 3 spams. But one of them, I thought it was a local call, and it was a local area code. I answered it. It was a girl, and she said something like, what the hell was it? We're with the Smart Meadow Loan Company, and I screamed and said a bad word at her. And then I got somebody else who did the same damn thing, disputing some kind of charge. And then I got a text, and this is what bothers me, and this is what I think people in my age bracket are most concerned about. Mm-hmm. And this is why I'm going to share this with you now. It's a text, well, not a phone call, but a text. And it says, Truist, blankety blank, your account has been put on hold due to suspicious activity. And there's a link. Now, I'm thinking of my...
that link.
No, I know. Okay, I'm thinking immediately, it shows the link, and then I did open it up, and I took a picture of it, and I called, I eventually got through to the bank people, and it took like 50 prompts. Anyway, I got through to the bank people, and I'm going to tell you what this link is so you don't open it. I did not open the link itself. I opened up the warning, but I did not open up the link. The link is called link.gy. link.gy.
This happens 100 times a day. You can't.
Okay,
go
I'm
through
telling
every
people
one of them.
who are like me, if you get something that has
Never.
this thing, don't
It's
answer
a simple
it.
rule. Never, ever, ever hit the link.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Call your bank. Call the company. Never, ever hit the link.
And I did, and I spent 40 minutes trying to get through to a human.
I know.
And I finally did, and she said, yes, it's a scam. Don't open the link.
They're
So
all scams.
they're all scams. But again, and I hate to waste time on it, but when people, my age bracket, when you get a text, it seems more important than if you get a message on your
Text should be the least thing
Well,
you care about these days.
I'm
And
sure
they
you're-
do it on it's almost their letterhead like Chase Bank or Netflix.
Yeah.
It looks official.
Yeah.
It is not
Yeah,
official.
I know. And again, I don't trust it. I don't even answer friend requests. I'm afraid to do anything.
Don't.
I mean, I'm not afraid. I choose not to because I don't want to be, and again, I start worrying. I think, oh, God, what if this is real? What if this one really is? You know what I mean? It's just, I hate it. Okay, done. Sorry. Okay.
They can't come to your house and shoot you,
I
even
know.
if it's real.
And if they can try, and they're going to get a few rounds. Even the maid knows one place I hide my gun.
You're having a stressful day, a stressful 24 hours. I think we should liven things up.
All right, so let's liven
with
it
a
up.
surprise.
A surprise.
A surprise.
All right.
In this little cup.
Yeah.
From the Windward Dental Care people. Thank you very
Windward
much.
Dental
Alp and
Care.
Alpharetta. They
All
do
right.
a great job.
I think I've been there.
They do a great job.
Is that where I went? I may
don't
have been
know.
where I went.
I don't.
I think I
Really?
called them to see if they had Humana. I remember
don't
calling
know.
Windward Dental Care.
I
All
have
right, in this cup, you
here-
got a what now?
I have
Oh, you got cherries.
those cherry berries.
Now, are they
I want you to
cherries
taste
or
them.
berries?
They're a cherry plum. Is what it is.
Oh, that's right. You told me
it's
that.
It's
So
like,
it's a
did
kind-
you know that
it's
the
a hybrid.
lemon is not a real fruit? The lemon was made by humans between the citron and the sour orange to make a brand new fruit, which is better than the two fruits it came from.
I'll be damned.
The lemon. Well, this is from a cherry and a plum they put together. It's called a cherry plum.
Wow.
So I want you to try one.
Excellent.
And Flounder,
Am I gonna need
I want you
napkins
to
or
pick one.
something?
You might need a napkin. It gets
Yeah.
a little juicy. There's a
I
pit.
got some clean.
No,
some,
you need a napkin. You got a napkin? Yeah. There's a pit in the middle, so don't swallow the
All right.
pit.
Well,
or
we'll show it.
chew on
We'll get a camera shot of these two. while
There,
we're
so I
doing
gotta
it.
take it. It's like balls.
And they're bigger than cherries and smaller than plums, so they're kind of half and half. Yeah, there you go.
This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like.
There you
You
go.
don't get one that's too tart.
And are they where Jerry berry? What did you call them? Cherry berries or berry cherries?
They're very cherry plum is what they're called. Very cherry plums.
me.
You all right? Jeez.
It's a freaking allergy, man. Sorry, Flounder. I swear to God, there was nowhere near you.
I already these are for y'all. So
Oh, mercy.
choose one. And be very, 'cause it's gonna squirt, so be very careful.
Okay.
And you kind of eat it like an apple, but a very small apple.
Okay. All right.
What do you think?
Oh, it is crispy like an apple. It even sounds like an apple.
Yeah, I know.
Did you hear that? It sounded like an apple.
What do you think?
delicious.
They are.
Can you hear the crunch?
Like an apple, because there's a
And they're only around for like a week or two every year at Trader Joe's, and they're just the most amazing fruit.
Well, they taste. I don't taste the cherry. I taste the plum. It tastes like a plum to me.
But a good plum.
Yeah, that tastes good. Yeah.
Most plums you get aren't, you
Right.
never know what you're going to get
Check
with
the
a plum.
cruncher.
Yeah. Oh, you ate the pit. Go. I'm going to try it again this year.
I doubt you can just put it in the dirt and it grows. I mean, you probably have to.
Isn't that what a seed does?
Yeah, but you probably have to cut it open so that it
Really?
breathes dirt. I don't know. I'm
I'll
guessing.
have to check on the internet on that.
Anybody know how to grow plums
Well, this is a special plum.
or
From
special
California,
plums?
yeah.
I mean, can you just take a seed and put it in the ground? And hell, we did that when we all had a garden.
My
when
grandmother
we were kids.
had a plum tree in Mississippi.
Yeah, we used to grow onions and leeks and radishes and what else we grow? Little things, and just to watch
She
them grow.
had a garden,
drugs.
an acre-sized garden that was surrounded by a fence to keep the animals out of. That was just, you walk in, there was a whole new world.
Really?
It's
Wow.
a secret garden, basically.
Cool.
So those are
Excellent,
well
man.
worth.
Thank
There's
you.
one more if one of you
Well,
wants
I'm done. I got to talk. But Flounder will probably have some. Okay, can I do one more personal thing, and then we'll do some newsy stuff and have a little fun and goof around. And by the way, Pete's going to tell us a little later about. We'll talk about Freddie. Also, how you can learn by your mistakes, and something about a horsey ride that may not have been very appropriate. I don't know. Something about that.
It's not appropriate.
Oh, just checking. Okay, my one more feedback on my Florida trip, just for the record. Sort of a heartbreaking thing, and I feel bad, especially for Jennifer. Because when I was down in Florida, I packed up all my stuff and came back. And as I was at some point there, Jennifer said, I was packing it, bringing it all here. And when she comes in tomorrow, she's going to look through my stuff. And I jokingly said, well, you can pick out what you want when I die. So you can do like a dibs when I go. You can say, oh, I wanted that. I got my name on it. So jokingly, and she said, well, the one thing I do want is the antique medicine chest. The antique medicine chest, back in the 70s, early 70s, 50 years ago, my mother, as a hobby, ran an antique shop. She and my dad would go antiquing on weekends, and they'd buy all the mostly shaker furniture. Do you know what that? You ever heard of shaker? It's very unusual, and there's no, they do everything by hand. It's all, the patina's just like a baby's bottom, and they do wooden pegs instead of nails. Anyway, It's all real old American and simple. The Shakers died out because they believed in separating the sexes. They had women living in one dorm and men living in the other. And of course, so every once in a while they got together. But basically, it was a Shaker community. They were known for shaking when they were so religious. They would shake and shake and shake. Anyway. There's a couple of Shaker villages in Ohio and New York and various places. Okay, so anyway, so
Snake
she would specialize in Shaker furniture among other things, and then the problem was that she'd get it into her shop. Yeah, Shaker. She'd get it into her shop, and then somebody'd come in and it's, oh yeah, I'll take this, and she'd say, oh no, that's not really for sale. she wouldn't sell it. She loved it so much that she just sat there and looked at it all day. I mean, Harry Belafonte came in and she wouldn't sell him her stuff.
It's like that scene in Funny Farm when he goes to the shop. Oh, that was my dead grandmother's.
That's what an antique shop, and that's what it is. Anyway, so back at this time, and I was doing some antiquing stuff, and I found this old antique.
I know you're gay.
I was helping my mother, and I spotted somewhere in Connecticut or something. I spotted this old antique wooden chest, and it looks like it's about the size of a medicine cabinet you have in your bathroom. So it's like 2 or 3 feet, 4 inches deep, and hangs on the wall, stuff like that. It's made of wood. It was very it's like from 1890 or something. Very fancy lettering, and it said something like osteopathic, medicinal, something or others, and various old English language stuff on the cover. And you open it up, and inside the antique medicine chest, in fact, was still the bottles, the old-fashioned hand-blown, tiny 2-inch high bottles, and the pills inside them, and the cork on top of the pill bottles. Wow. The old-fashioned hand cork. All those pills, and there must have been 30 or 40 of them inside the medicine, well, maybe probably 20 inside the medicine chest, with the original pills in them from, 100 and something years ago, and the little slips of paper inside describing what they were good for. Mm-hmm. Headaches or stomach ache or whatever. And so I said, oh, yeah, that'll be great. And then I realized I didn't see that when I packed up my stuff. So I called the woman who packed it up for me. I didn't see it when I packed up my stuff to leave to come back here. But I didn't pack up the stuff because I wasn't down there. Jennifer was staying there, and I hired a woman to pack up the stuff and put it in storage. So I called her, and I said, did by chance there was another a box there someplace? And she said, no, it wasn't. And I said, okay. So and then Jennifer said, well, I think Mom's got it. So then I just talked to her. Apparently, when Jennifer left and her mother and she were packing up stuff, they left it hanging on the wall in the condo. So it belongs to that guy now. Wow. And I'm heartbroken because that's the one thing Jennifer wanted. And to me, it was special because I've never even come close to seeing another one that had the pills and the bottle and the old cork and everything else. What are the chances of finding one like that again? None.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Anyway, so I feel terrible, Jennifer. You're not going to get what you want.
Wait a minute here. We got a little timeout here for some feedback.
Timeout feedback
on YouTube.
All right,
we can now live look at what you're saying on feedback
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, if they go to YouTube, what, Kimmer Show YouTube, or what do they look for?
Well, what they want to do, Kimmer, is they want to go to the kimmershow.net.
And then click
and
YouTube.
Then go to the YouTube link there, hit subscribe, and watch away.
Don't forget, hit subscribe, and you never have to do it again. You don't do it every time. You just hit it once and you're done. Okay, sorry, what do we got feedback?
Hector says, dig in the flounder can.
There's a real quick, I haven't put it back on there. There's an audio issue, so when the next time you do a commercial, I'll take a look at that.
Oh, okay.
So when it goes to my camera right now, there's no sound when it goes to my camera. So I'm not putting it on my camera at the moment.
Okay.
All right. Hector says, all this tire talk is really interesting.
Oh, thank you, Hector, I said.
Mark says, Kimmer Not Understanding Technology brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. ClosetPro.net, 404-255-0589. That's Atlanta Custom Closets at ClosetPro.net. Let's see. Yeah, that's it for right now. Maybe later we'll do some more.
There you go. By the way, there was some news breaking this morning that the liberal Democrats who hate America and would rather kill people instead of having babies. Apparently, somebody left what looked like a bomb package at a clinic on Old Alabama Road, some kind of a birthing clinic or not Planned Parenthood,
helping women.
To help women, and so they wanted to bomb it.
Not kill babies, but help women.
They can go ahead and take care of that little problem you have inside.
By the way, Hector says, sure would be a bad time to discover you're allergic to that fruit.
Yeah, we got a way to go yet. So.
Start scratching like a.
It might be a little iffy on the thing with the thing there. Oh my God, I freaking love it. Okay, all right. Let's do this whole business Trump hearing thing. First of all, when they said it was a surprise hearing, it was a last-minute surprise hearing. What a crock! They knew everything about it. They were trying to get publicity to get people to start watching
no
again
one
because
cares.
nobody cares and nobody's watching. But for the
But by the way, all news services around the world are trumpeting this as if it's real, as if it's true. That one person says it, nobody else has said a word about this, and all of a sudden, all over the world, people now believe that Trump went nuts.
Yeah, well, the charge was the former staff aide Cassidy Hutchinson to Mark Meadows, his top person, and Mark Meadows is top person to Trump. So Cassidy said that Donald Trump dismissed the presence of armed protesters. He knew there were people with guns. He didn't care. He said, they're not going to hurt me. Let my people in. He demanded to go in. He was flailing in anger, prone to violent outbursts. Other charges he lunged toward. He was in the limo, the beast, the presidential limo. He wanted to go to the riot, the protest. I want to be with my people. I want to be with my people. And they said, no, you can't. We got to go back to the West Wing. He said, I want to be with my people. And this girl, Cassidy, a suspected serial self-pleasurer, apparently claimed that he lunged toward the steering wheel of the presidential beast motor car. And that he apparently they had to stop him, and he apparently slammed into the clavicles of the Secret Service agent. Again, I'm saying, first of all, it's not true. She heard it from somebody else who said they heard it from somebody. That was the testimony. And of course, nobody mentioned, they didn't call anybody to confirm it. In fact, the Secret Service agents who were there have already commented, we'll be very happy to testify under oath that it did not happen. That it's not true. But that's not getting reported. That's on Fox.
And then Adam fuck shit for brains was on CNN the other night, and he was like, well, I see no reason for this woman to lie, so we'll take her word for it.
Oh, it's worse than that. Brett Baer.
Well, don't get ahead of me. We're going to get that too, but we're still, don't start me now. And they're saying she said that Mike Meadows, or her boss Mark Meadows, said that Trump thinks that Mike Pence deserves to get hanged. I mean, it's just one slanderous problem after another. He said, they're not here to hurt me. Trump said, they're not here to hurt me. Take my blanking mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. I want to be with them. This girl, Cassidy, said he was a raging president, unable to acknowledge his defeat. She said that she saw ketchup dripping down a wall with broken porcelain, and the president had thrown his lunch at the wall in disgust over an article that was going to clear him. And again, all this is absolute nonsense.
Even if it's, I don't care if it's true.
Yeah, even if it is true, I don't care. It doesn't mean, it means that Donald Trump trusted his people. Nobody's going to hurt me. He wanted to be with his people. If a Democratic president had said, my people are out there, I want to be with them, they would have said, what a man, a hero of the people. So, I mean, again, it's just all politics. And the worst part of it is, it's all lies. That never happened.
But half the world now believes it happened.
This is the same thing. This is, again, the Russian agent, the Russian hooker peeing in his bed in Moscow, at the Ritz or the Hilton or whatever. I mean, this is unbelievable. And again, she testified. And okay, let's talk about Brett Baer. Holy smokes. Brett Baer is drinking the Kool-Aid. He called testimony. I saw this on TV. He called testimony by this girl, Cassidy, the suspected serial OCD self-pleasuring orgasmic TikTok contributor. He believes her. He said she was compelling. The testimony was stunning. Trump is obviously unhinged. In fact, let me do a little more. Some reaction to what Brett Baer did. And we knew this was coming because of something he did the other night. That I noticed almost immediately. Hold on, I'm going to get this thing on my thing here with the thing real quickly. Mensa, Brett Baer. Okay. Brett Baer of Fox News believes Hutchinson all the way. One critic said, what a chump he is. Brett Baer wrong again. Hutchinson's stunning testimony really moved the ball against Donald Trump. Brett Baer said, I love this part. When Trump released a statement saying this is all lies and nonsense, here's what Brett Baer said. Cassidy Hutchinson is testifying under oath. Trump is testifying on Truth Social. What a snotty little shitbag thing to say.
Because no one has ever lied under oath. Bill Clinton, Amber Heard, go on and on and on.
Hillary,
and on.
I mean, nothing in those emails. I mean, come on, man. Brett Baer, Dominica, Brett Baer put his foot down his throat again, defended the storyteller, saying Cassidy was under oath, Trump wasn't. So he said this right before Cassidy's story started falling apart, another hack for the Democrats. Brett Baer owes Donald Trump an apology for basically being an a-hole, but mostly for his biased, rushed-to-judgment reporting, saying he didn't believe Trump, but he was wrong, and Hutchinson lied. I mean, this is, Brett Baer is now suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. Will Brett Baer and Fox apologize for the stupid comments he made, believing Cassidy Hutchinson over Donald Trump because she swore under oath? Another crazy story of Trump. Not only that, the other night he interviewed, did you see this? He interviewed a Republican candidate for governor of Arizona, a girl named Carrie Lake. And one of the local issues is that there's a picture going around of her with a transvest or a cross-dresser or a tranny or whatever, drag queen. And the drag queen she's against the drag queens doing storytelling hour. She's been saying that that's just completely wrong. And so this girl has been blasting drag queens going to schools. And one of the drag queens says, wait a minute, I've been in her house. We've been together to parties together. We're good friends. She loves drag queens. And she's saying, oh, that's nonsense. A total lie. He's never been in her house and everything else. Anyway, Brett Baer had her on Fox talking about Arizona and politics and the change in politics and all that kind of stuff. And then he said, by the way, one of your critics is talking about the picture of you with a drag queen. And she says, oh, my God. Brett, she said, that's not real. That's not a real. She said, I can't believe you're now going the way of CNN and MSNBC. What's going on with you people at Fox News? I mean, she right to his face saying on their desk, and she said, I can't believe you people at Fox News are all of a sudden, giving this kind of credence to nonsense like this. And Brett says, well, we're just trying to get all the issues. We're trying to, ask all the questions for all the topics. I mean, trying to take the so-called high road. But he's just, I mean, it was unbelievable. They're going after him, every single one of them.
And guess what? You can be friends with a drag queen and have a drag queen over your house and still not want them to talk to kids in the library or school.
And in fact, if you're as a public figure, I guess she's a state representative, if I'm not mistaken. As a public figure, you're going to run into things like that, drag queens and ceremonies and stuff. You're going to have your picture taken with different people. But again, she said, he's never been in my house. He's trying to make it sound like we're all good buddies and I love drag queens. That's nonsense. And it's not really a thing, except Brett Baer just made it a national issue again. Oh, there they go, these phony Republicans. I mean, it's for what point? Yeah, I mean, I know what the point is.
Brett Baer is a trained bear, a dancing bear. He does what his bosses tell him.
Well, but he's never been this bad. He's what's happening at Fox is obvious, and especially that guy at 4 o'clock, the business guy, Cavuto. Oh my God, he's getting worse and worse. But here's the thing: CNN's ratings are disappearing. They're, what's her name is off. They're changing people. People are going to be fired, so they're losing other people. Fox is trying to get the liberal or medium liberal audience away from those people onto Fox. They're saying, I guarantee you, the people at Fox are saying there's an audience out there that's left CNN. We need to bring them over here.
I disagree. I think it's because the sons of Murdoch have taken over. They're more of the hoi polloi, hanging out in the Hamptons, Hollywood crowd.
Yeah,
they want to be invited to all the great parties, so they're changing the image of Fox, so they're cool.
Well, yeah, and they want to draw in those people. They want to prove to those people
to draw in.
Well,
those people are watching MSNBC if they're watching anything.
Well, but I'm telling you, they're after all those liberals who are no longer watching CNN, or even the people who might be called moderate. Anyway, whatever. There's a huge change at Fox. Let's see. And it's amazing that they're not doing any coverage except for very rarely on Tucker or Jesse Waters about Hunter Biden getting advice from his father. Did you hear the voicemail? When Biden says, I've never talked to my son ever about his business dealings. Not one. Well, there's voicemail of him, President Vijay, talking to Hunter about the communist Chinese link to his money funds and how the New York Times story is going to be okay. It won't be that bad as you thought it would be about your link to the Chinese communist money trail. I mean, what more do you need?
I know.
When's somebody going to ask him at a press conference, Mr. President, by the way, what's the deal? We heard your voicemail that you obviously know about Hunter's link to the communist Chinese. And also, why would a grown man take a shower with his little daughters? I mean, why someone's going to ask these questions at some point. I got
the voicemail.
Well, Jose, before you do that, Bobby makes a good point. When you click the subscribe button on YouTube, also click the notification button. It'll tell you when we're live.
Oh, it's a great idea. That's right. So thekimmershow.net. Hit the YouTube button. Hit the subscribe and what'd you call it?
It's got a notification.
Notification. Subscribe and notification. I forgot that after 3 seconds. That's just hard. It's a freaking record. 3 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. And my other favorite part. Are you going to play that soundbite?
Yeah, you want to hear it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Hey, pals, Dad. It's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least the thing online, it's going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think it's clear. And anyway, if you get a chance, give me a call. I love you.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. Just reassuring him, Joe, what a daddy, huh? Reassuring him the Times story won't be that bad. Golly, I thought he never talked about his crooked kid in the crime family. You heard the voicemail when Hunter was broke and also needed another $5,000 to pay his Russian whore. Daddy sent him $100,000 and then another $5,000 to take care of the hooker. What a father. I mean, whew. And by the way, the girls that Hunter was paying with his father's money are part of a Russian sex ring.
By the way, the 100,000, that's half his senatorial salary right there.
Yeah. Again, someone's got to do a financial audit,
On all of
an
them.
autopsy on the Biden family, the brother, the sister. I mean, all of them. The wife. I mean, all of them are in cahoots.
They ain't gonna do that.
God, I mean, Russian call girls
Well, it's
slavery
like you said,
ring.
if we get the House or the Senate back, the first thing they got to do is
Yeah.
work on inflation. They can't go straight to hearings and stuff like that.
Well, someone's got to get to the bottom of all this. And
Agreed. I totally agree.
I mean, it's just
Like I was thinking about this morning. These people have sold us the country down the river for money and party power.
yeah.
And we're supposed to be upset because a few of them got chased down the hallways, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm not upset at all about that. I'm upset at the treason that the Republicans and Democrats have done by selling our jobs and everything for decades down the river to China, Mexico, and other places, and destroying the American worker and the American middle class and doing nothing about it so they can get more money at the top and less for us in the middle and less for those at the bottom. And we're supposed to be upset because people walk through Congress.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. And
Now,
again,
our founding fathers would have these people up against a wall or hanging from a tree.
yeah, and notice when you mention that, let's remember the point. Donald Trump was the most outrageous, troublemaking politician to ever take control of a nation that I can think of any nation. I mean, other than maybe Napoleon or, a dictator. But again, for any free society, I don't know of another. Can you think of another president or
Huey
king?
Long was a Louisiana king.
Yeah, but he wasn't a president. I mean, this is of a country. Can you think of a prime minister of a king? Well, King Louis, I saw. But I mean, other than 1740. But again, in the last 200 years, has there been a leader of a nation who's been such a strong, kick-ass?
Well, a nation like ours, because you can
Yeah.
always go back to what's his face? Who's Argentina?
Perón and those guys,
Perón,
yeah.
yeah.
But again, in a free society, I mean, we haven't seen a president who's been this much of a troublemaker. I mean, he stirred him up so much they tried to impeach him the first day. I mean, remember the uproar every single day trying to drain the swamp, and he couldn't do it. And that's my point. The founding fathers would go nuts if they saw what was going on here. And they would say, geez, we even had a guy try to clean it up, and he didn't even come close to cleaning it up. They turned on him immediately. The entire Department of Justice, the FBI in particular, Attorney General. Remember the meeting with Clinton on the plane? And I mean, my God. I mean, it's just...
They warned us from the beginning of this republic that you got to watch the parties. When the parties become too powerful, you lose the country,
Yeah.
and that's what we have right now.
Yeah. Anyway, have you coming up? Hold on a second. Coming up, have you heard about the abortion tents at Yosemite? Oh, that's going to be great fun.
Yosemite?
Oh, yeah. Yosemite. Yeah, and probably Mount Rushmore.
They don't let you even walk in parts
no.
of Yosemite, but you can go in there and set up a tent.
Oh
and give
yeah, we're going to do
abortions?
abortion tents. Yeah, coming up. We'll talk about
That's
that.
one of the most regulated places on
No,
earth.
Pete, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to get with the program.
Hey, you're standing on the moss.
I'm sorry. If you need an
Seriously,
abortion,
that's the way they were. You couldn't go
Bye.
here. You couldn't go there. You can't stay here anymore. Hey, what a great hotel. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
enjoy
but
it now
abortion,
because it's going
you
to be
know,
closed in a year. We're closing the motel. Why are you closing the hotel? Because people are coming here.
yeah, yeah. The hotel's going to have a massage parlor and an abortion clinic. So that's good. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second.
We're drafting down the river. The water is minus 70 degrees. And the brother of my girlfriend at the time says, I'm going to take a swim. So he jumps off in the water. He's swimming around, turning blue. And the park ranger's going, hey, get out of the water.
But you can get your abortion.
You can look at it, but you
go
can't
in
get
there.
in it.
You can look, yeah. You can smell it and everything, but you can't touch it.
But you can give abortions in there.
Well, that's what they're hoping. That's what they're hoping. Yeah, don't let them get your guns. Dealer. Dead Crow Defense will never scoff at you when you say you're looking for a specific kind of ammo. I can't find the 9mm or the 38 spec, whatever. Believe me, they don't scoff. They take care of business. Dead Crow makes firearm, suppressor, and ammunition and gear sales easy and painless. It's the old-fashioned personalized customer service, quality products. It hasn't been this easy since the 30s to buy a suppressor in America. Customers may have to wait months and months and months, maybe 65 days average for Dead Crow. That's way shorter than anybody else can do for you. And check them out online, deadcrowdefense.com. For all in-stock items, they'll ship the next day. If you're in a pinch, give them a call. Here's the number, 678-576-9117. Or shoot them an email. Here's the email address, sales@deadcrowdefense.com. Notice a common trend there, deadcrowdefense.com. Your personal arms dealer reaching out to you directly to take care of what you need, what you're looking for. Be sure to tell them the Kipper sent you. I didn't mean to make you laugh, Flounder. I'm just happy to be here. Dead Crow, don't let them get your guns. Dead Crow Defense, your arms dealer.
All right.
And back we go.
A couple things here.
Couple.
Let's see. The Nostalgic Pod Blast says every time Dundren, because you Dundren, turns the camera on himself, he accidentally cuts off our mics.
No, I just fixed that. We're good to go.
All right,
Good. Okay. Yeah.
and
he
also
So
mentioned
the
it.
flounder cam is live again.
there is a delay here. Okay, what, 5 seconds?
Oh, on YouTube?
On the
And you playing it
YouTube.
back?
And I can't hear what we're saying. So when I go on my rants. And I turn,
it
it
comes
looks
back.
like I'm talking to thin air, and I'm a crazy man.
You're turning around to shake hands with nobody.
It's like I'm talking to the couch.
Oh, I freaking love it. Let's see, where was? Oh, the slavery rig. Anyway, thank you for your feedback. And again, thekimmershow.net for all your needs or what you've been trying to get to us. Now, thanks to America's Democrat leaders, ladies, you can plan your next abortion and enjoy some of America's natural wonders at the same time. Yes, coming soon, if the new American leadership can pull it off, abortion tents on federal land. Yep, at Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone, Old Faithful. Fetal failure. Just think, if your boyfriend knocks you up and your husband is not even suspicious yet, just tell him you want to visit Yosemite or the Grand Canyon. Yeah, that's it. And then in the morning, you satisfy him. You go crazy. He's all nuts. He wants to take a nap. You say, honey, I'm going to go shopping at the little souvenir store at the gift shop here at Yosemite. Okay, I'll be back in a couple hours. Okay, honey. Thank you. I'll take off he goes to sleep. And then you take a quick trip to the abortion tent. No more worries. Oh, in New York, what great news. Governor Horschel says it will be a haven for women to defetus themselves, and she'll even fly you to Virginia if you actually have the baby, and maybe he's real colicky or he just freaking cries all the time and poops in his pants and you're sick of it. The New Yorkers will fly you to Virginia, and they'll put him to sleep for you in a gently caring way, of course, when they take his life, because they'll do it. The after-pregnancy abortion is also real in Virginia. By the way, that goes for men, too. Any pregnant men are also welcome to get your abortion in New York and Virginia, which I think is extremely important. Now, speaking of that, have you heard what the tennis girls in Wimbledon are now complaining about?
What now?
Yeah, well, here we go. The annual Wimbledon champion, and by the way, it's Wimbledon with a D. I always thought it was a T for many years. Wimbledon Championships has returned, and the athletes and the girls' side, I didn't know you could pick one. Girls are. I mean, I didn't know they could single out women. I thought you had to be, I don't know. When are they going to have tennis tournaments for like 9 different genders? I mean, it's got to happen at Wimbledon too. Anyway, the traditions of the tournament are that the athletes, especially the women, shall wear white. Yeah. Period. The history is that the rule was originally enforced, they say, because any sign of sweat was considered rude or improper. Pop Sugar says, I can't imagine going into the biggest day of my life with my period and being forced to wear white clothes. And so the ladies are now complaining and protesting that they should be able to wear clothes.
How long is the tournament going on?
700 years, something like that.
Since the 1880s or something like that.
Yeah.
Has there ever been any kind of controversy on someone seeing someone's period?
No.
Shut the...
Yeah, well, yeah. Clean up at nature's window. Clean up at nature's window. She rushed in at, oh, God!
God forbid that someplace still
gushed
have
the net.
standards. God forbid
Yeah.
that there be a rule
Yeah.
that keep these people that have never been told no in their life.
Yeah.
No.
They're special. They're special.
Of course
well,
they're
in
special.
fact, you have a little story on a tennis girl for us here? I heard.
Serena?
Didn't you want to talk about
She
Serena?
should retire. It's
Tell the story.
over. It's over. And they keep talking about it. Oh, she can win this, blah, blah, blah. She can't even get past the first round anymore. Now, she may go
She lost to someone that wasn't even seeded.
Right. Yeah, Harmony Tan. She's 115th.
Yeah.
Okay, she acted like in that they only played 2 sets because the second set Serena won 6-1.
Yeah.
That's nothing. So they only really played 2 sets and she was gassed. Yeah. It was 66 degrees with a cool wind blowing. They had an 8-minute break for rain. And she still was gassed out there.
How is it that she didn't know that she
40.
wasn't prepared to play?
Well, she hasn't played in a year or more. So, yeah,
But
this
you still have
first
to
one's going to be bad.
practice.
But
She's still
she's
got
40.
competitors.
She's 40, and she's out of shape.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She's in great shape compared to us.
Well,
except Flounder, but she's out of shape.
But
she's
can't
40.
You can't be that big at that age.
Oh, she's huge.
Yeah.
She's always been big, but she could carry
Well,
it.
when you're 22, that's
Yeah.
one thing. When you're 40, you can't do it.
No.
In fact, you want to hear a horrible story? I don't know why.
She might do well at the U.S. Open because she'll have more rest, but it's hotter.
Yeah.
And it's a
again,
harder surface.
Yeah, it obviously doesn't make any sense. But again, she must have had competitive practice rounds with people, and she must have known she hasn't.
I would say it's sad, but it's not because
I'm
I can't
not
stand
sad
it.
about it. I think she's a bully. I think
But she's the greatest tennis player, female of all time.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
Yeah,
that.
I don't.
I give her that credit.
Yeah.
But she's always been a bully. She's hardly ever acknowledged that
She's
the other girl
nasty.
beat her. It's always been, it wasn't what she did. It was more like what
I really
did
needed to play my A game. I really didn't. You know,
yeah.
she's just nasty. She's a nasty person.
Yeah, I remember when she just degraded the referee because she thought she. I mean, it was
rip your throat out.
Yeah, it was
Did
awful.
I call that phrase? Rip your throat out.
And gets away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't
She tried to say it was about race.
Oh, please.
Now, when McEnroe did it, it was fun.
Yeah.
No,
He
there
was
were times
entertaining.
McEnroe went too far. I'm sorry.
Well.
Oh man,
There's times he went too far.
Yeah, I mean,
he was
screaming,
he was being a bully
surely
too.
you can't be serious. I mean, that's where that phrase
was
came
funny,
from.
actually.
Well, there was another time. I remember, like this lady was cheering him on some match, and he walked over to her and he goes, "Shut up! If I want your help, I'll ask for it." It was just like, wow, it's a fan.
He was the best.
Oh, I freaking
Now
love
we're
it.
going to be called sexist and racist because we're saying it's funny when he
bull,
does.
no, we're
there were
not.
times when Serena did something that was funny, just not as many times as when McEnroe did. He's got a better sense of humor.
Well, McEnroe was a firebrand, and he was acting like an idiot. Serena was being vicious. She was being nasty, mean, cruel, and violent. She was saying, "I want to rip your throat out."
My main problem with Serena has always been not giving the other girl enough credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is it's not
Well,
class.
she
She has
got
no
better.
class.
The older she got better at it, that giving credit. But that when she was young, she never was beaten. She just lost.
Yeah, that's not good. I almost even hate to talk about this story here for a minute, but we need addressing. President Gurley Parts, Judge Wapner's on in 1 minute, is a mass murderer. There is nobody. No, it's without question. There's nobody else to blame for the 51 people dead in that tractor-trailer cab or a trailer at the border than the President of the United States. And he had the balls, again, along with his little gay, tranny, dark, not white, puppet at the podium, that girl, the French girl who gives his speeches now.
I think she's American.
Well, whatever. You know, the French gay, black, transvestite, tranny, masturbator. I don't know what the hell her full title is. And she and Biden, everybody is saying, it's clear the border is closed, and Joe Biden is doing, and he said himself, I'm doing everything I can to stop human smuggling. Gee, I can think of one thing you're not doing, closing the border. And they say, no, the border is closed. That's why the smugglers are trying to get around the border. If the border's closed, the border's closed. How do the people get in here? It wasn't by parachute. They got in here because you are allowing them to come in, and then you're putting them into centers. In fact, we just heard now there's one, I think it's in Virginia, he's using an abandoned school to house several of the children who came in illegally and so forth. Because we're taking care of them because they come across the border, and we give them little packets and clothes and a little thing to say come back in 6 months or whatever, and then they're released. They're coming into America by the million. There are 1.5 million of them in the last 8 months or a year.
Remember the craziness when they showed the kids in the cages and it was under Obama,
Yeah,
but
that
they
was
blamed
Obama's
Trump.
cages,
That
yeah.
Trump was treating them like that.
Yeah.
If these 50 had died when
God.
Trump was president, they would have personally brought him up on charges.
Again, how does he have the balls to, and nobody challenges that except Fox, and they're not going to do it much anymore, challenge him when he says the border is closed and I'm doing everything I can to stop human smuggling.
We know
You're not
it's not
doing
true.
anything. They're bragging about how I'm going to try to calm down here. They're actually bragging about how well they're processing the people coming over, which is the exact opposite of closing the border. They're happy about what great work they're doing getting them into America. And don't realize, you're kind of contradicting your goal to close the border. I mean, it's and can you imagine? I can't even think. And there was another hot baby death case in the news yesterday. A father, and he killed himself.
He killed himself.
18-month-old baby, he left him in the car, totally forgot, saw the dead kid, went home and killed himself. So, he didn't do that on purpose. Anyway, but can you imagine? And there were some survivors. Can you imagine what they went through? And did you hear that the kidnappers and the murderers, Biden's murderers, in order to cut back the smell, covered them with steak sauce to try to prevent the odor of human flesh rotting?
Maybe they're going to eat them.
They covered them with steak nutrients and ingredients and steak powder and sauce to try to cut down the smell of decaying human flesh. And there were people alive in there when they found them. Can you imagine all those people trying to get out, trying to get through a steel door? Why did they lock them in? Just let them go and wander around. I don't get why they locked them in. And I don't know why they abandoned them. Did they just say, screw them, we'll just kill these people so they can't tell on us? Why didn't they just, run away or open the truck, let them out and drive away? Did they run out of gas?
The media would be hearing how Trump's policies are not working at the border. 50 people have died for no reason.
Yeah.
Peep.
Yeah, that's right.
Peep, peep, peep. Because of
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And he says he's doing all he can. You dirty,
and this
filthy
wasn't the border.
liar.
They were standing. They were well within the border.
Yeah. This was in America. This is American land. I think if I were, I can't. I don't know why the people in Mexico aren't reacting to things like the treatment or I don't know.
Well, they want to get out.
It's still worth the risk, I guess.
Yeah.
God almighty. This country's going to hell in a handbasket. Here's another little story that was just in today. In West Hollywood, home to the rich and famous. West Hollywood, yes. Okay. The trendy LA community has now voted to reduce their law enforcement budget. Yes, they are defunding the police, even though in West Hollywood, crime has gone up 137%.
Get what you pay for.
They're going to have 5 fewer Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies on patrol, but they have increased the funding for their Cultural Arts Center. Cutting back the cops, more for cultural arts, and crime is up 137%, ladies and gentlemen.
And so this is why I'm not thinking about talking about this red wave. 40% of this country is insane and will vote Democrat no matter what they do.
And if they all show up, and I hope the young people don't show up. I don't think they have much to vote for Biden. I don't think they're very happy with what's going on. But again, you never know what's going to get. Maybe the
abortion thing will get
the abortion
them out.
thing, maybe. But again, if they all show up, we better all show up because we're outnumbered. And again, idiots are voting on things that
Well,
make.
here's the thing, though. Are we really outnumbered? At the birth rate in this country, our age groups are going to be ahead of the young.
Well, I think we're outnumbered in terms of activists. I think we're outnumbered in terms of people who the
But we
Democrats
vote.
do stick together. You
We
know,
vote.
Yeah. Well, we better. We better vote. We better get all those suburban housewives who were ticked off at Trump. Better say, we better straighten this stuff out. I don't know.
I'm just telling you, 40% will vote for them no matter what.
I agree. I totally. Probably more than that. Probably more than that. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, but you
20
got to
years-
remember
what's
too,
that?
real quick. There's a lot of people that don't believe in abortion. I think it's what, like 52% to like 48.
Every poll shows the majority of Americans want some kind of control on it.
Right.
Even Europeans want
Well-
some kind of control on it.
Oh, by the way, did
So
you?
I almost think that's going to split the average woman housewife vote.
Yeah. Well, that
We
it
hope.
may very well.
My,
When the View.
Do you have the camera on you when you're doing it?
didn't. Damn it.
Oh, Flounder.
You missed your show.
What did what did he do? Did he give me a thing?
Yeah, I mean, you missed your close-up.
No, because when I was talking, I had the mic camera.
Oh,
on you
that
guys.
can't be a good ever. That can't ever be a good sign. No, never. No, you don't want to go off here. When the View, where did the View go the other day to do their live show? Was it the Bahamas, or the?
Aruba, Jamaica.
I think it was the Bahamas, but it makes a difference. Or Bermuda was.
Same thing.
I'll say Bahamas, but I could be one or the other. I think, let's call it Bahamas. Okay, so they're down there doing their show, and the whole time, Anna Navarro and those people are complaining that they ought to be able to euthanize crippled babies or Down syndrome babies. Remember, she's the one who said we need abortion so we can get rid of bad, fetuses. They're complaining about they're in let's say it was the Bahamas, wherever they were. The facts stick, and they were all complaining. All five of them were hallucinating the whole time, just freaking out, screaming, and hysterical about the abortion laws. The country they were doing the show in has outlawed all abortions.
That's Bahamas. Okay.
No abortions, and they're complaining about abortions in America, which are still legal. And they're in a country where there are no abortions, complaining about America's legal abortions. What a bunch of idiots. I mean, who didn't know that when they set up the trip? Anyway, I thought that was freaking hysterical.
I'm sure they did the show. If they did the show in London or Paris, you'll agree with this, right? They'd be looking at you. You are crazy.
I think everybody probably agrees that with rape or incest, a woman ought to have the right to an abortion. Therefore, most people believe in abortion under very limited circumstances.
Right.
I think most people also believe in abortion up to a fetal heartbeat, 18 weeks or whatever. So I
If
think
it's got a heartbeat, it's alive. Can we all just agree on that?
Again, I think the figures are that probably 99% of people say if a woman is raped, she ought to be able to get an abortion. And I think probably 80% of people say if a woman wants to get an abortion, or maybe 90% up until the 16th week. I mean, people are not that rabid about it, and yet these liberals are going to try to make it a thing that it really doesn't need to be that much of an issue because it's still legal.
There's a meme going around, and the Bengals quarterback, Joe Burrow, fell for it too. He goes, I'm not for murdering babies. I'm for Sally, who was raped, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm for
Please.
Billie Jean, who, got caught up in a rape thing or something like that.
Yeah.
And they go on and on. That's less than 1% of all of them.
That's teeny weeny, and everybody will agree if a woman is raped and wants an abortion, even though the baby didn't do anything.
You got to be hardcore not wanting any
Yeah.
abort. That's very
Right.
hardcore.
That's very hardcore.
And
But
obviously
again,
it's never happened to any relative of yours.
Well, on the other hand, I mean, I totally abortion is either yes or no. It's either you're pregnant or you're not.
It's not a black and white thing.
Well, I can appreciate the people who make it a black and white thing, but I think it's a very hard stand to take. But again, they have the right to do it, and at least they're consistent. If they believe that
That's right.
at conception, if that's life, then you can't be.
But they're
against
the
it.
minority.
Yeah, they're very few. Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 years for helping Jeffrey, her off-and-on boyfriend, abuse, sodomize, sexually rape little girls under the age of consent. Although Ghislaine denies that she ever abused anyone, she did. I thought this was amazing. She spoke when she was given the 20-year sentence and said it was her greatest regret of my life that I ever met Jeffrey Epstein. She called him a manipulative, cunning, and controlling man who lived a profoundly compartmentalized life. She denied she abused anyone, and she hoped. But this is amazing to me. She obviously accepted the 20-year sentence, and she said, I just hope my conviction and my unusual incarceration will bring some measure of peace and finality. 20 years, man, and she's what, 60? So anyway, but God, that's longer than they give murder. I mean, I'm glad, but still,
Hector has weighed in.
Hector, what do you got, Hector?
My neighbor hates tennis because he says it makes too much racket.
We don't have to take this feed, do we? Thank you. All right, hold everything. Did you hear about the Mensa baby? And we got to get some way to fake a GoFundMe thing, because wait till you hear the latest story. I mean, this is I'm on the record now. Honestly, we got to figure out some way to fake a GoFundMe. But first, this is no fake. If you're looking for stuff you can't find anywhere else, how about M&S Title Pawn in our lovely little town of Bremen, Georgia, 306 Laurel Street, Suite A, M&S Title Pawn. I say it slowly because it's not M&S, it's M&S Title Pawn. In Bremen, Georgia, Laurel Street, open Monday through Saturday. And if you want to visit them on the web, it's manstitle.com, because M-A-N-D-S spells mans. So it's manstitle.com. Or you give them a call, 678-821-3337, manstitle.com, or M&S Title Pawn, Laurel Street, 306 Laurel Street, Suite A, in the beautiful downtown Bremen, Georgia. M&S Title Pawn, with our great appreciation. No, it's fine. Thank you very much. Now, this was, have you ever taken a Mensa test?
You know what? If I did, I can't remember doing it.
A Mensa. You know, Mensa is the Society for People with a Genius IQ and above.
It tells you if you're a man in Italy. Mensa test.
Mensa. It's a Mensa.
It's a Mensa test.
It's a Mensa. I think it's 140. Isn't 140 genius level, and you have to be above that?
That chick you met that I was dating, the crazy one, she was Mensa. She was brilliant.
Oh, yeah, they're around. Well,
is that the problem?
One of them. She thought she was smarter than me.
Well, I mean, you tend to take IQ tests at various places.
You know what? When we were kids, and they gave us those in like fourth grade,
yeah.
They said you'll never know it.
Right.
We'll tell your parent, but you will never know your IQ. And I thought, what? That's gonna be crazy. So I've never looked it up.
I never knew my IQ until in the Marine Corps at Parris Island, when they give you all the battery of tests, you actually get an IQ test. Wow. It's called, and you get actually two of them. And they're basically two IQ tests, and they tell you what your IQ is. They don't call it the IQ, but it's the IQ test. Huh. But again, I never knew. And that could still be nonsense. Who knows? But anyway,
how about you go through your entire life thinking you're kind of smart, and you find out
you got nothing. Yeah, you're a good learner, but you don't know shit. You can't think your way out of a paper bag. But
sometime in your life, someone said that to you.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a good learner, Peterson, but you don't know shit.
You work hard, son, but you know, you try. I swear to God, you try.
You're sweating a lot, but
really, you're really putting into it. But I'm sorry, you just can't even make it. Well, in Crestwood, Kentucky, Jason and Amanda McNabb were walking along around their home one day. Excuse me.
It started a coughing fit.
So sorry.
It was horrible.
They were walking around their home one day, and they found their rooms littered with little plastic alphabet letters. They were everywhere. In front of the chair, the letters were C-H-A-I-R. In front of the refrigerator or the ice maker, I-C-E. In front of, in the kitchen where the mother usually stands, they found the word M-O-M spelled out in little plastic letters. Well, the person responsible was their child, Isla, but they said, well, Isla's kind of young to be spelling at this age, so they looked at a security camera, and sure enough, they found out that she, in fact, was spelling out things in the house at the age of 1. Yeah, just after her, she had just turned 2. She started doing this when she was 1. When she turned 2, she started spelling out everything. They said she was spelling words out on a tablet. She understood the words, and they kept giving her more words, and she took an intelligence test and scored in the 99th percentile. And so Mensa, which was founded in England in 1946 with 145,000 members in 90 countries, Mensa has admitted this 2-year-old girl as a member of the Genius Society.
Have they put a piano in front of her yet to see
I don't know.
if she's Mozart or...
The security footage shows she was doing all this writing and stuff herself. She started memorizing the names of dinosaurs. Her father said he drew a picture of a stegosaurus and assumed that she would write dinosaur, but she wrote stegosaurus. How the hell is that possible?
That's amazing.
He drew a picture of a triceratops and she wrote ceratops. I mean,
I think we've talked about this before. It's recent, where they're thinking that deep down in our DNA, in our genetics, we don't just remember things with our brain. It is embedded in our DNA.
from the DNA of your parents, I guess.
Oh, not them, but everybody that came before you. And every
All
once in a
human
while,
life? Wow.
one of these mutants pops up where they remember everything that went on.
You know, this kind of fits into the business with dual universes and time
I
things.
think it's more
and
a
stuff.
genetic type.
Well, I think you're probably. I would
Because
believe that.
they show it in animals. It's not just stuff that they've learned or their parents learned in their brain. This is stuff that literally is in the DNA. It's knowledge embedded in your DNA.
Yeah, but again, you know,
But how's that work? We don't know how it works,
I
but obviously
can't
it does.
imagine.
You can't explain it any other way that she's that smart, that young.
well, if the parent, you know, all right, if you're born and then you have your DNA, you have your body, have your DNA, you're growing, and as you learn things, it goes into your brain. And then as you procreate, maybe the stuff that's in your brain, including the
in
DNA
your
knowledge,
DNA.
goes in your sperm, and then boom, that's in the kid.
in your DNA,
But
yeah.
most people don't know how to get it out. There's a part in your brain that most people don't get that genetic history, and this little girl did. Maybe that's how chemically it works. I mean, who knows?
Either that or she's that type of girl like Mary Lou Henner that the brain sees and remembers every single thing,
yeah.
and she saw it on television.
Well, she's been stunning in every category as superior, very superior. She is called hyperlexic, which indicates a precocious ability to read. They reached out to the organization. He said, "Yeah, Randy." Anyway, she just turned 2, and the parents say, you know, it's kind of creepy that she, I mean, in a good way. I mean, but they don't know what to do. They got a 2-year-old girl who all of a sudden is in Mensa and knows more than they probably ever will. But you know, where did she get it? Like,
I wouldn't be thinking creepy. I'd be thinking meal ticket.
Well, speaking of meal
on.
ticket, now I guarantee you she's not going to pay for college. I mean, you know, she'll be rich her
And
whole
I'm
life.
putting her in front of a piano immediately.
Yeah, or a violin or something. You know, that's what they tend to go to. The pianos or violins for some reason, I guess. But again, I mean, clearly, unless something weird happens. Now, maybe if she's, what do they call the thing that the accountant had? Asperger's.
What were you
and
gonna-
maybe she
bear
can't.
something?
I can't remember what it's called. Bear in the woods syndrome. Bear ass syndrome. I was going to say bear ass syndrome. But clearly, you know, she's set. I assume she'll probably have.
Hey, you know what? If I was a parent, I'd try and get a hold of Elon Musk and say, "Look, obviously this is something you were kind of like. How's the best to raise her?
I'd like to meet our daughter. You know?
What are any tips you have for raising a daughter like that?
Well, you need to get experts. In this case, you need to get somebody to help you deal with. And you know, I don't know what the girl's like. It doesn't talk much about her personal, whether she's a normal 2-year-old child or whether she wants to just sit and watch the
Mostly
news.
they're withdrawn. They don't associate as much as other
I
children.
think that's probably
Makes me
normal.
think of the movie. Remember Real Genius?
Yeah, I didn't see the movie, but I remember.
Val Kilmer was in it. Super smart. You know,
Called Real Genius?
Real Genius.
I remember the title. What was
From
it
the
about?
80s.
Was it a kid?
Yes, a kid who was super smart. They brought him to college early because one of the professors had a government agreement to get
Well, that's the
something
whole
done, and they
basis
need
of
the
young Sheldon. You know,
similar. Yeah,
Big Bang.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Boys, we need to figure out some kind of a scheme. Now that I've
Hector
outed
says
us.
you've already done it, and you raised $50.
Oh, I did?
I don't remember doing that.
Thank you, Hector. What did I raise my $50 for?
I don't know.
Well, my God. Sucker. No, I mean, thank you. Thank you. I meant sucker. Edit that part out.
Oh, Hector also says that Pete just referred to a child as a mutant. There are mutant children. If you've read the X-Men, that's what they are.
Well, now I don't think we need to start talking about
I'm not saying
you and your
mutants are
freaking
bad.
zombies.
I didn't say mutants are bad. Mutants are good. The X-Men are good. They're a
well,
force
there
for
you
good.
are. All right, and they're obviously real, and they're
Nightcrawler.
the same way that. Yeah, see, now don't bring those people up. We don't
Actually,
want those
mutants are real.
zombies. No, we don't want those people coming up out of the ground and taking over America. My God,
That's
man,
why
what's
we
the
tie their shoes together when they die.
matter with you? Oh, jeez. All right, here we go. We need to come up with a scheme. Here's why. There was a post of a Burger King employee the other day named Kevin Ford, 54 years old. He's been working at Burger King for 27 years, never missed a day. He was given a special package of a kind of an employee thank you to say thank you for your service after all these 27 years. And they gave him a gift bag, and here's what he got from the company that Burger King hires to give out the gift bags, called HMS Host. Here's what's included in the Burger King gift bag: a Starbucks reusable tumbler, a bag of Reese's candy, pens, two rolls of Lifesavers, and they gave him a slice of chocolate cake, and apparently one movie ticket. And this was posted on social media, and one person said, "Did they really just give him one movie ticket?" And somebody said, "He's so humble and kind about it. It really pisses me off. He deserves so much more," said somebody else on Reddit. Everybody else pointed out that his gift really didn't match up with his expectations, so his daughter went on social media to honor her father's dedication to his food service job. She says, "My name is Sir Nia. The man's in the video is my father. He's worked 27 years, never missed a day. He originally began working at this job as a single father when he gained custody of me and my older sister 27 years ago. A single father. Then, as our family grew and he remarried, he continued to work here because of the amazing health insurance that was provided through his employer, and because it was unionized, they got all 4 of his daughters through high school and college with full health care coverage. My dad continues to work here because, though he does look young, he's coming up on retirement age, and leaving would cost him his retirement. In no way are we asking for any money or anything, or is he expecting any money of any kind, but if anyone feels like blessing him, he would love to visit his grandchildren." Well, people on the internet were moved to hear about Ford's story, and the response to her unassuming request exceeded anything the Ford family could possibly have dreamed of, shattering its goal. And so far, after just a couple of days, including a donation from David Spade of $5,000, they have raised over $200,000 so he can go visit his grandchildren, because he got a lousy gift bag from Burger King. Now, wait a minute. I mean, come on. How about a little something, for the effort, this is. I'm trying not to
We've
be
done it all
selfish.
wrong. We have done it all wrong.
God.
Okay, I got an email yesterday.
People, this is for free. When we try to say, help, give a little.
Our former boss, Eric Seidel, has a group of people, older people that were in radio for decades.
Yeah, it's a
And
radio group.
They meet every few
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
Well, if you notice, the Radio Hall of Fame just collapsed. So
They
they've
officially, Corey.
So they've started another one, and Eric's part
Eric's
helping
a partner?
organize it. Well, he's helping
Yeah.
with stuff, like that.
Oh my God!
So putting together,
It's
says
funny you've never talked to me.
everybody. Well, you're not in the group. You didn't ever answer.
I'm not in
You
the
never
group.
came.
I don't deserve it.
I went to a couple of them anyway. So everybody who was in the old Hall of Fame will be in the new one, and they want us to do is set up a scholarship fund for young kids that are going into radio. And I almost
go
wrote
into
back,
radio.
Listen, for God's
What
sake,
radio?
Don't give them money to go. Tell them to
There's
run.
no radio.
Run
Go into
away.
Go into computers and finance.
Don't encourage people to
Period.
go into radio.
Social
you
media,
go
funding, and
coding.
finance.
Go into coding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, computers and finance and
Maybe
social,
television, but or social media type media,
Social
but do
media.
not go into
Yeah,
radio.
no,
Ladies and
fans
gentlemen,
only.
take it from me at a young age, do not get into radio.
No, No, don't. It's dead.
Insane. It's never been a
It's
great
over.
career for most people.
It was never. Well,
It was okay for a while, but it was never been great for most
it was
people.
only okay for a while in the 90s, and very few people in radio ever made any money. I never made any money until the last 3 years. 3 years of my life, I made what you would call fairly good money. Before that, I mean, I was as a grown man trying to support a family on $50,000. I mean, when I went to San Francisco, I got paid $80,000 to live in San Francisco. I literally I didn't have $4 in my pocket any day of the week. I was broke, So, and again, that was typical. But in radio, it's dead. Don't
And
even.
what few good middle-class jobs there were, they killed in the 90s when they allowed the corporations for them to buy up everything.
Yeah. Well,
and
again,
consolidate.
Rush Limbaugh made talk radio and the newsy talky top radio explode in popularity, and at the same time, people are saying, "Oh my God, we got to get in and we got to take over this," and all that control change and all
then
the government.
Clinton and Colin Powell's kid got together and basically with the corporations and took their money and basically said, okay, 4 of you corporations can buy everything now.
Yeah.
And they bought everything and they fired
deregulated-
everybody.
Yeah, they deregulated, took over, and the control, and now everything. And look what happened to us.
It killed all the middle class jobs.
Yeah. Anyway, don't go into. Don't go into.
And you know who was behind Mitt Romney and his ilk?
Well,
who bought
he's
was
a
Zell
destroyer.
Shillmore.
Mitt
They
Romney's
bought GST and J-Corps and destroyed
That's
it.
right. That's right. His company from
And then
Boston.
and skeletonized it and then sold it all.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's absolutely correct. Remember J-Corps? Remember those old days?
It was great.
Wow. I'll tell you what was great. Trading your car without having to go to the dealership.
That is
Holy
great.
smoke-a-roonies.
Tell us more.
SwapMyWhip.com. Whip, of course, is a kind of a colloquial term for a ride or your car or whatever. SwapMyWhip.com, another Kimmer Show sponsor, the podcast. If you're looking for a different ride and you want to trade your car and you're not really looking for dealerships and you've never gotten a good deal before, whatever, try this. I mean, you got nothing to lose, and it's free when you mention the Kimmer. SwapMyWhip.com, and you'll find like-minded car owners when you don't want to deal with dealerships and used car salesmen. SwapMyWhip.com, you get a better deal avoiding the middleman entirely. SwapMyWhip.com for your boat, your jet ski, your car, whatever, stuff like that. SwapMyWhip.com, and use the coupon code Kimmer for 180 days of free premium listings. SwapMyWhip.com. Once again, that's SwapMyWhip.com. So I think I might have
You jumped ahead of me. It's
jumped
my
ahead
turn.
of you for a second there. Let's do a little sports section. Now, you already did your Holy Crap at Sports, and I did notice one thing. By the way, for the record, I've got the sports section here, all of like 3 pages. What a disgrace this newspaper is. There's not a word. I saw it on social media. Not a word about Freddie Freeman and his agent and the situation or anything about it, which I find very hard to believe.
That's weird.
I mean, not a mention.
This is today?
Yeah. How is that
it
possible?
just broke yesterday.
But it should be. It should have been all over the
should be
agent.
the
How
number
could that not
one?
be the number one story?
Well, the heartbeat thing's pretty
Well,
big
but that's
story.
a feature story. If they're going to leave with a feature story, it should be, Freddie Freeman admits that, we should he stayed in Atlanta, basically.
I know.
Anyway, the story, I mean, I want you to tell the story, but he fired his agents.
It was the talk of baseball. I'm listening to the
Tell what
Guardians Twins story yesterday, and Tom Hamilton, who's a play-by-play guy for Cleveland, talked about it for 5 minutes. Basically taking the Dodgers side, but he talked about it.
Okay, now for those who don't know, Freddie Freeman, of course, our big star here. And again, we have a worldwide audience. Tell him because he went to the Dodgers and they hired Matt Olson and said. So tell him what.
Well, basically, he got caught in the prostitution ring. It was unbelievable.
Oh, hey, ho, ha.
He fired his agent. He fired his agent over this. He told the Braves, his former teammates over the weekend, I'm going to fire them. And he fired them, which shows and basically admitting that his agent screwed it up.
Yeah. Didn't he actually say, I mean, he kind of admitted that he made it clear that it never should have gotten to that point. And it seemed to me that the tweets or the comments he made to his friends, I guess we're quoting him, it was clear that he would. I don't think he would have left.
No.
If it had been up to him. And now he represents himself, by the way. He's his own agent now, unless he just hired somebody
He's
today.
going to hire someone. What happened was this guy, and I'm not going to say who his name was. He worked at Excel Sports. Allegedly, that after the lockout ended, the Braves had an offer for a certain amount, and the agent called up Alex Anthopoulos and says, "Okay, we want more money than what you're offering, and we're going to give you 2 different routes to go. There's 2 different plans. You have 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay, not just one plan. 2 hours to go over and make a decision in 1 hour. Yeah. And after the hour went over and Anthopoulos didn't hear, he just assumed, well, that means the offers are off the table because both sides agreed. There are no offers on the table now because he gave him 1 hour. And the Braves were afraid that
well, they had to assume he was going to L.A.
He was going to go sign with L.A. almost immediately, which would have put the Braves in an even bigger bind that they were in trading for a first baseman.
Well, his agent, apparently, the mistake was that the Braves clearly, from the cue of the agent, you've got an hour, and they didn't hear anything, so they said, oh, my God, Freddie's going to the Dodgers. We better do something to replace our first baseman.
Yep.
If they had waited to get Matt Olson, they would have lost him, too, probably, and they would have had nothing.
They already paid a high price. They would really have paid a high price.
Gotten even more. So, again, the Braves were forced into saying, oh, my God, I guess he's gone. We better do something to replace him instead of saying we'll do anything we can to get Freddie back. What do you mean give us an hour, you asshole?
And one of the reasons we believe that is that Freddie talked with Anthopoulos and they've made up, and that's why he agreed to do all that stuff over the weekend. Otherwise, he could have said, no, I don't really want to do that. He embraced it.
Yeah. I just feel terrible about it. And now, and here's the other thing. All of a sudden, now his teammates are saying, "Well, are you committed to us, Freddie, or you wish you were an Atlanta Brave?"
They can't say too much because he's the best player on their team right now. He's got a 12-game hitting streak. Yeah. He's Mr. Steady. He's Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
So they can't say boo. Clayton Kershaw got rocked by the Rockies yesterday, so he needs to shut up and pay attention to what he's doing.
He was one of the guys who said, "I wonder whether he's really committed to our Dodgers."
Fiddle. Yes, you are second fiddle.
Well, and by the way, what player who went through what he went through, same way Dale Murphy would have felt the same way going to a new team, would have had emotional ties to Atlanta. Obviously, that doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean he's not going to try for his new team. Why would you even think that? I mean, again, why would you even put that in your head that's an issue? Freddie's not like that.
They're athletes, and they had their feelings hurt.
Freddie's not a show-off, kind of me first,
No, he's their best player right now.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is injured. He's the reason he's kept them going. Yeah, Clayton Kershaw is 2-7 against NL West, their own division, for the last few years. Shut up, Clayton, and pay attention to what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I thought that was.
And you have John Heyman of the New York Post, who's all over MLB Network and everything, basically saying that he'd never seen anything like this, but basically saying, it was kind of weird, that do that. What they don't understand in New York and L.A. is that California kid would rather be living here in Atlanta because it's a better life.
Yeah, and he loved it here. He wanted to be here, and now he's in California.
Well, that's his home, so it's not like he's thrown in the briar patch. It's not like they sent him to someplace he would hate.
He'll be fine, but still, the whole thing just makes me sad because
he knows he's not chipper. He'll never play the Derek Jeter type thing. He'll never be with one club the whole. He will never be looked upon in the same light that Jeters and Chippers and Mariano Rivera and people like that were looked on.
What are the chances that'll ever happen again? I mean,
it should happen with Mike Trout, but I don't think it will. I think Mike Trout's fed up. Did you see what he did yesterday?
No.
His pitcher was tipping his pitches. And Mike Trout is in the center field yelling at him and into the dugout, showing what he was doing from center field. And looking disgusted while he was doing it.
He his own pitcher?
His own pitcher.
So he's trying to tell him to stop tipping your pitches?
Yeah. Basically, he was holding it out when he did one thing and putting it close to him when he was doing another. It was easy to see.
Jesus, why didn't somebody else? Why didn't his pitching coach?
What he should have done is Mike Trout should have jogged in,
called
and
talked
to the pitch and got a pitcher man. And everyone would go, "What the hell's going on?" But that'd been better than what he did.
Well, he's got to be frustrated. I mean, he's the best player in baseball, and he's never won anything.
Never been to playoffs,
and never will. He never go to.
May have been once. May have been once, I think.
Well, I mean, basically, he's had a great career.
How many seasons has he played? Like over 9?
Oh, about 9.
Yeah.
And Shohei Ohtani,
he's never been to the playoffs.
Ohtani wants out in a year or so. Yeah. And he's probably going to go to the Mets.
I'm reading another article. He's the best baseball player who ever lived.
No, he's not.
well, he did everything. He did everything Joe DiMaggio did, and also pitch.
He's had 2 seasons that are amazing, but you've got to do it more than a season and a half.
But they're saying as of this moment, the best player who ever played baseball is Ohtani.
Bullshit.
Well, I'm just saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm saying that's what they're saying. Don't get all angry. I'm just saying passing. Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm not knocking. I love him. I love watching him play. But he's done it for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So,
but still, you have to be impressed with what that that man can
course.
do.
And he's
I saw him
huge.
hit a 460-something foot home run the other day, and you couldn't even see the swing. It was, I mean, off it goes. I mean, man, it's amazing. I've got a weird Dear Abby that I never miss these, and once in a while I pick one out to read. Check this out. Dear Abby, many years ago, I was the victim of a violent assault that my 11-year-old daughter witnessed. It traumatizes both me more than ever. I dove off the deep end, started drinking, smoking pot, quit going to church. My personality changed. I've dumped every moment with my kids I could onto my husband so I could go out with my friends to clubs and bars, concerts and parties. I started having affairs with many different people, including women. My husband knew all about it. And despite the torture and pain I put him through, he stayed with me. Years later, I have managed to slowly heal from that devastating assault. I have found true joy in my children and being a mom again. I don't drink, party, or smoke. One thing's become clear. I'm no longer sexually attracted to my husband. I love him, but the thought of him being intimate really grosses me out. It makes me so uncomfortable. I don't even like it when he tries to caress me. It's been like this for a year. I like holding hands, but I feel bad because I know he has needs, but I just can't bring myself to get physical with him. I've actually thought about leaving him because it's necessary because he has never fully healed from what I've done, and I'm struggling with finding other men attractive. Still now.
So she's not fooling around on it.
No, but she's not fooling around. But she thinks other men are still attractive to her, and her husband's ugly to her. And oh my God. Well, and
Nice
Abby
guys
says,
get screwed.
Abby says, go to a health professional. She always says, get help. Go to a counselor. Your lack of feelings for your husband is maybe because of the connection of what you experienced. Obviously, it's not his fault. Anyway, just damn. Can you imagine?
Poor
Would you
guy.
stay with it? I mean, my God.
He does everything right, and he gets screwed because he's
and
a
now
nice
when
guy.
she's all better, she still wants to take it on the road. She still thinks about other men.
That's one way to put it. Kemmer putting things in a nice manner. Brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. Printing custom shirts and hats and signs, promotional items. No minimum order, no setup fees. 1 or 1,000, they'll do it. Laser engraving now, they will put that on anything.
Yes,
and
sir.
they do all your Kemmer Show needs for all merchandise. Holy Crap It's Sports, Shannon Burke, all the horse stuff and stuff that you want put on the shirts or anything else. Coffee mugs, things like this. This is what you do. Go to FarmhousePrintingCo.com. And right now, for every Kemmer order,
That's right. Don't forget.
you get a patriotic koozie.
They'll give you put a little thing for your mug, and it's got our logo on it, and it's free with every order this week.
Statue of
From the
Liberty.
Kimmer Show stuff, FarmhousePrintingCo.com. And again, they're very helpful. If you don't know what to do on the computer, call them, and they'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
A couple of birthdays of note. Dan Deerdorf, former St. Louis Cardinals lineman and
Dirty player.
Dan Deerdorf, 73 years old. He was on Monday Night Football for a short while, and now he calls Michigan Wolverine games.
Does he? Okay.
He wasn't as dirty as
Dobler.
Conrad Dobler.
Yeah.
I worked with him. Did you know that?
Jeff Van Note had stories about that guy.
Conrad Dobler, and by the way, I worked with him. I was an anchorman and a TV anchorman, and for one season or something, he came onto the set and I interviewed him on sports. And first of all, Conrad Dobler was, I think he's like 6'3" or 4" and 270. He looked like about 210. I mean, I couldn't believe he's one of the guys who did not look, but he was a really great athlete. But he was the dirtiest player ever lived. And we tried to ask him about it, and he kind of, oh no, I never gouged a guy's eyes actually out. No, I never spit on their hands when they got in their 4-point stance. No, I never did that. But he put his thumb up your. No, he was not a happy guy. But I know, and he was a nice man in person. But you didn't want to cross him. I know that.
So was Attila.
Yeah. Gary Busey, still alive at 78.
That's amazing.
Oscar nominated for the Buddy Holly story. Comedian Richard Lewis is 75. I used to laugh at him. I haven't seen him in 30 years. I guess is he still on Larry Sanders?
Yeah, a little of him goes a long way.
Yeah, but I remember. I used to listen to his routines, and he'd say, "Oh, my mother, we're around the party. We're having a party at the table, and it's all the dinner. And my mother comes out of the kitchen. She says, 'Is anything all right?'" As a
He's
Jewish
not still
woman.
doing mother stuff, is he?
What?
78.
What?
He's not still doing mother jokes.
No,
at 78,
I don't know.
is he?
I haven't seen him in 30 years, but I'm seeing. But he was always amusing to me. Kind of that psychotic Woody Allen type, nervous.
I was watching this Marvelous Mrs. Maisel show, and for 2 months every summer, in 1959, they go up to the Catskills, It's an all-Jewish retreat.
Where all the Jewish
It's one of the
comedians
funniest
go.
shows. You will love it because it's all about the dancing and the stuff that,
Yeah.
that was considered fun back
Yeah.
in 1959 that they were all into. They didn't think it was corny or thing like that. This is what they look forward to every year. And it's Tony Shalhoub gets drunk every night. It's just.
And this is what now?
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which you've got
Marvelous
to get
Mrs.
Netflix
Maisel?
to watch.
Okay, all right,
It is
well,
so funny.
I'll get it.
And it's like Richard Lewis, 1,000 of them. You know, it's just funnier
Really?
than hell.
Yeah. The days of the Catskills, I mean, that was Americana in so many ways, and that's gone, I guess, forever.
Yeah.
Remember in the NYPD Blue TV show, Sharon Lawrence, an attractive blonde woman? If you didn't,
never watched
she's
that show.
61 today. I thought she's a handsome woman, Sharon Lawrence, 61. Colin Jost, SNL, I never saw him, 40.
Mr. Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, that's right, too.
You
Are
know,
they
he
still
does the
married?
new-
Did
he's
they
the
break
white guy.
up?
Does it? No, they're still married.
Oh, they are. Fred Grandy, former actor on The Love Boat, played Gopher. He was a congressman for 2 or 3 or 4 terms, and he's now a radio host. Fred Grandy's 74. Jan from The Office is Melora Hardin. She's 55 today. She also plays Trudy Monk on whatever that show is she's doing.
Jan. Who was Jan? Was Jan his girlfriend?
Jan, yeah, the boss.
got
and she
the-
got
the-
fired.
the
Had the boob
boobs.
job. Yeah.
Oh, she's a good
Jan,
actress,
yeah,
yeah.
good actress. Yeah. Jan from The Office is 55. Eva Narcissus Boyd would be 77 today. She was a babysitter, and she was babysitting for Carole King one night. And Carole King and her friend had just written a song. And they knew that their babysitter, Eva, was kind of a fun singer. And they said, how'd you like to record this? And she said, oh, sure, why not? And she did. And Little Eva and Locomotion became an enormous #1 hit.
Great song.
The babysitter recorded the song for Carole King.
Grand Funk did it better, but still.
Grand Funk did a version of it many, many years later. And, of course, it was much worse, like everything else you always say about the same thing with, what's the one about the little girl, if you don't leave me, if you leave me now, I always hated you. What's the song about the group back in the 70s, and it was on... I hear you got a boyfriend. You're rocking every weekend, and then some other group made it like the bigger group made it 20 years later. Grand Funk Railroad or somebody made a version of it. What am I talking about? Huh? What am I talking about, Flounder? You know what I'm talking
No
about.
idea what you're
Play it.
You're making it up as you go along.
Uh,
Yeah, what's the name of the song?
well, I don't. It's
not that song, it's another
no,
song
it's
he's
the
trying to
one,
think of.
Take it on the run, baby. If that's the way you want it, baby, then I got no for you.
I don't
That
know
one.
what you're talking about.
You take it on the run,
Alice Cooper.
baby.
I don't know.
If that's
REO
the way you want
Speedwagon.
it, baby,
It's REO
then I
Speedwagon.
don't want you
That was
around.
a remake?
REO Speedwagon?
Yeah, REO Speedwagon.
Their biggest hit was a remake?
Take it on the run. No. Your friends
Take
made a
it on the
remake
run,
of it.
babe. That's not my friends. I hate REO Speedwagon.
No, I'm talking about
Corporate
REO
rock.
Speedwagon had the original song in the 70s.
okay.
And then your friends made a
friends.
remake of it. You
Okay, that's REO Speedwagon.
yeah.
All right, I've never heard anyone but them say that song. Why would anyone
Well,
else
what's the one
sing that song?
maybe it's Locomotion and Grand Funk I'm thinking of. But anyway,
that's
Little
the
Eva
one
and
you're thinking of.
Locomotion.
Oh God, that was 5
Now,
minutes.
and the
We'll
reason
never get back.
the reason I mentioned it is because when I was on when I was working at a summer camp, when I was 16 years old with my best friend at the time, Al Williams, and we would have a little parties.
Got a little closer.
And whenever the song, if we were drinking beer or wine coolers or whatever, whenever the song Locomotion came on, when it got to the part chugga chugga motion like a railroad train now, we had to chug whatever you were holding. So if you're at a party and all of a sudden the song's on in the background and somebody goes over to turn it up, you're going, oh crap, if you just open a quart bottle of liquor or something because you have to chug all of it. And when you hear the chugga chugga motion, we had to chug it all. So
That
it
was the
kinda
law.
weird.
Huh? You had
That was the law. We had to do it. By the way, I do not remember this in history, but in 1967 on this day, Keith Richards was convicted of using his house for a dope smoking emporium and is sentenced to a year in jail. And Mick Jagger was also sentenced to 3 months in the pokey in 1967, but because they were the Rolling Stones, sentence suspended. We don't really want you boys to, I don't remember Keith Richards spending a year in jail in 1967 at the height of their,
In the 70s, the Canadians arrested him, and they were serious, and he
Yeah.
had to do a whole bunch of benefit concerts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good. That's probably the right
And
way to handle
McCartney
it.
was caught with marijuana
Oh, they
in
were all-
Japan,
yeah.
and they weren't
Yeah,
happy
foreign
with him at
countries.
all.
Oh, remember, oh, hell, they would kick. Remember, those countries wouldn't let people in. With this stuff. And by the way, that basketball star, the woman in Russia, Griner, I guess has had. She could get 10 years. I guess she's under trial
starts
right now.
next week,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Next week.
She made an appearance in
Tomorrow.
court, and I think it starts today or tomorrow.
It starts the 1st, I think. So that's Friday? No. Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, that's
It's
Friday. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Oh,
someone said that they want a spy. They want to trade. That's
yeah,
why they're
well,
doing this.
yeah, they want a spy who is responsible for murdering a million, several of our assets, killing American spies. I don't think that's the same as smoking weed by an American girl basketball player.
WNBA star, no.
Please. 1985, speaking of the Beatles, John Lennon's John Lennon's Rolls-Royce Phantom 5 went up for auction at Sotheby's in New York City. The car company of Rolls-Royce went nuts when John Lennon had it painted in psychedelic, weird, freaky colors all over his limousine. It sold for a record sum of over $3 million.
What a cool car.
He psychoed his Rolls-Royce. 1988, three little words Lionel Richie did not want to hear. Honey, I'm home. And that's when Lionel's wife, Brenda, came home to catch Lionel Richie in bed with another woman. So Brenda started beating the crap out of both of them, and she got arrested at their Beverly Hills home. The cops took her into custody. They eventually dropped the charges, but she caught him in bed and beat the crap out of both of them.
Does the crime of passion still hurt?
I don't know. I've always said, believe me, I know this is the scenario, Your Honor. I assumed the guy was raping her. Was raping my wife, and so I shot the son of a bitch. Now, the second shot went ricocheted and hit her by mistake. But, Your Honor, it was obviously I was shooting a rapist, Your Honor. The fact that he pulled her on top, it was an accident that she got killed, too. But I was shooting the rapist. I think I have a right in my own home to defend the guy, I mean, that's my story there. I've just already got that written down for the next time that happens.
Kimmer's Alibi brought to you by, holy crap, it's real estate. Have questions about this real estate market? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Ask Joe Huggins with Keller Williams. You can buy your dream house first and take 6 months. That's half a year to sell your home without 2 mortgages. Work with a Kimmer fan. Find him online at joehugginsrealtor.com or call him 770-599-5750. That's real estate with unreal service. Joe Huggins.
Joe Huggins. Nope, there you are. The Eminem song, My Name Is? I've never heard of any of his stuff, but My Name Is. The Eminem song, well, on this day in 2000, Eminem's mother heard the song and sued her own son. She sued her son over the lyrics, quote, my mother smokes more dope than I do. She sued him. Eminem's mother sued him for $10 million. She was awarded $1,600.
Oh, by the way,
slightly less.
Someone pointed out that Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is on Amazon Prime, not Netflix. Sorry about that. Which is it's still the best show on.
I'm going to get all that stuff.
And Hector's going to send us. Supposedly, someone put up. I remember this. Remember, you were going to do a Kimmer golf tournament, and someone says, "Let's start a GoFundMe for it." It's still active, but I don't know if there's any money. We never took any money from it or anything like that.
Oh God! Oh, remember?
We felt bad about it.
Oh God! Years ago, somebody set up a golf, and somebody put $50 in it. Oh no, that was the. Remember, I did a fake one. I did a fake. Oh God! I was complaining about GoFundMe's people being such suckers, and I wrote up a GoFundMe. I can't believe I just remembered this. I wrote up and it was said, "Hi, my name is Kim Peterson, and I'm not making enough money to be able to join a private country club." Oh yeah. And now the problem is, I really need to be able to join a private country club because my kids are there, and I have to take care of the families, and I just don't have to be able to da. I said, so if you could save just $5, $10, so that I could be able to join a private country club because this will make the whole family. And I really did a thing just to get, and somebody sent me $50. I swear to God. And I never taught. I guess it's still there. This was like probably 8 years ago.
Yeah, we probably returned.
Anyway,
Cindy just wrote squirrel.
So just for the record, but yeah, we need to figure out something to try to make a again. We're want to keep this going.
By the way,
yeah.
All you Mets fans on our YouTube thing.
What's the deal on that?
Well, Luis and Cindy are Mets fans, and they're nice people. We'll allow that, but
are they being
this
nasty?
is a Braves page.
Well,
they're not being nasty. They're very
okay.
nice.
Okay,
Very nice
well,
people.
good. That's good.
Especially for Mets fans.
Yeah, well, there you are. That's how unusual. Let's see.
I'll say this again.
Yeah.
I have never had a problem with Mets or Yankees fans in New York. ever. Never had a problem with them. It's only when they leave New York.
Yeah, they come here. That's the yeah. Don't please. 1956, Elvis Presley appeared on the Steve Allen variety show, dressed in a tux. Elvis sang "Hound Dog" to a basset hound sitting on a stool on the TV show.
One of our listeners, Tissy, who went to the World Series with me as my date, saw the movie and says the guy is Elvis. Austin Butler
Really?
is Elvis. No matter what you think of the movie, if you're an Elvis fan, you want to see it just to see this guy be Elvis.
Really? Yeah. Now I read something that the former autobiographer or friend of the Colonel Parker, the scumbaggy agent, what a slimy agent he was complaining that it didn't really portray him properly or something.
Well, I think it's probably goes overboard with that.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyway,
in fact, the Tom Hanks costume he has, someone says it's like Fat Bastard and from
well, yeah, I think
Austin
they were making
Powers.
Fun of and Hank played Colonel Parker, right? The Asian guy.
No, he's Elvis.
Or the maledictorian. 1967, actress Mariska Hargitay has no memory of what happened on this day in 1967. The Law and Order SVU star was 3 years old. She was in the back seat of a car with her two brothers when it slammed into the back of a tractor trailer. Her mother, sex kitten and actress Jane Mansfield, was killed. And when a wig went flying from the crash and landed up on the ground, the rumor lasted for years that she had her head cut off. It was not true. And Mariska Hargitay, her daughter, has no memory, thank God. 1978, or at least that's what she says. Hogan's Hero star. Remember this story? Bob Crane from Hogan's Heroes ended his spiral into the dark world of amateur underground porn. Bob Crane was found bludgeoned to death, beaten with a camera tripod. There was also an electrical cord wrapped around his neck, and his face was unrecognizable. Bob Crane was 2 weeks short of his 50th birthday. The murder is still unsolved.
I know.
They think they know who did it, but they can't prove it. Yeah. And he was just creepy.
Pornos.
I mean, real weird, perverted kind of stuff.
Black and
dark.
white Super 8 stuff.
Yeah, just... Ugh. Again, that was in what, 50? What did I say?
That's a DJ for you, you know?
78.
DJ.
1956, President Eisenhower signed the Federal Highway Act, building 41,000 miles of interstate highways over the next 20 years. And for the record, the saying that every 5 miles is supposed to be one straight mile so aircraft can land during the war is not true. That was a rumor. 1966, for the first time, American bombers hit major North Vietnamese population centers, Hanoi and Haiphong. It was so successful that the liberals made it stop. Because God forbid we should kill the enemy. Again, if you're in a war, everybody's the enemy. You know, I mean, they kill us, we kill. I mean, they kill civilians. They don't give a shit about civilians. So we just, if you want to end the war, you know, that's why they have a Marine Corps. Kill people and break things. That's it. That's why you should not have a war, because innocent people are going to die always. Sorry, for the record. 2007, the first Apple iPhones went on sale. People had lined up outside stores for days. Had a touch screen, no keyboard, Wi-Fi access, a camera, and a browse web in 2007, the first Apple iPhones. 2009, Bernie Madoff, mastermind of the horrendous scheme that stole more than $60 billion from investors. Bernie Madoff was sentenced to 150 years. The defense team wanted 12. The court erupted in applause when he gave 150 years.
Think of the lives he ruined.
Oh, my God. I mean, I was retired at the time down in Palm Beach County, Florida. I didn't have any money, but I knew people who did. And I know people I played golf with who lost millions. And again, I know people, I mean, I wasn't close friends, but I knew them. I was there with them, who were people who at the age of 72 or 74 years old had to go back to work and try to find part-time jobs to pay for their bills. Because they lost all their money. I mean, can you imagine that? Well, you're looking at him.
I can imagine it. Yeah.
It wasn't Bernie Madoff who took my money, but the bankers got it. But anyway, I'm trying to make a living at my age because of what they did to us. They stole it just like Bernie did. Putting tranches together, were bundling mortgages they knew were going to fail, and gambling they would, and making money off of my failures because they caused me to fail. Nobody went to jail. Not one person went to jail.
That was under
for it,
Obama.
or got killed for it, which would have been my preference. And I'm not above it either. I'd take a little Ambien and pull another one off of that matter.
Day's young.
All right, yeah, it's not over yet, Valley Boy. 1804, two privates on the Lewis Clark expedition were court-martialed for getting drunk on duty. 1804, one of them got 50 lashes on his back. The other got 100.
That could kill you.
That will kill you.
That could kill
Yeah,
you.
it did kill. It did kill people. Not didn't kill them, but lashing did kill people because it ripped you open.
I know.
1897.
I think at that point, I'd take my chances running off in the woods.
I just say, go ahead and shoot me. I just,
No,
yeah.
I'm running off in the woods.
Yeah, something. 1897, the Chicago Cubs scored 36 runs in a game against Louisville, setting the record.
The who?
Louisville
No, the
something or
other
others.
team.
What?
The other
The
team.
Cubs.
No.
No?
The Colts.
Chicago Colts?
Before they were the Cubs.
Oh,
they were the
it
Colts.
said Colts on the history list. I'll have to go back and change that. And on the same day in 1941, Joe DiMaggio broke George Sisler's record and got a hit in his 42nd straight game. Remember the name George Sisler with
Yes, he had the all-time National League single-season hit record until Ichiro broke it. And Ichiro, to his credit, when he was in St. Louis, actually visited George Sisler's grave.
Really? No kidding.
And Sisler's family was at the game to congratulate Ichiro when he broke it.
As it should be. It wasn't, who was the guy who hated publicity and Mickey Mantle's buddy in the Yankees?
Roger Maris.
Roger Maris tried to be classy about it, too, and with the families and
And
everything.
Mark McGuire knew he was lying, and he stole that
Yeah.
record, and
Yeah.
he cheated, and he still acted like
Yeah.
he deserved it.
McGuire, yep.
Yeah.
What a shame. 1956, speaking of sports, Marilyn Monroe, who used to be married to Joe DiMaggio, Marilyn Monroe married playwright Arthur Miller. It lasted 5 years. And in 1972, the Supreme Court ruled the death penalty can be cruel and unusual, which prompted states to have to change the way they exterminate worthless lumps of scum. 1972, remember that changed for all the states, their method of execution. Anyway, other than that, boys,
Well, we're of a certain age, and at a certain age, you
Yeah.
learn things, right?
you learn a couple things.
learned a
The
few
older you
things.
get, yeah, experience.
I learned from the mistakes
Yeah.
of people who took my advice.
And you watch them fail right in front of your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. I told you, I knew it.
All right, before you send cards and letters or pitchforks and come surround us,
Yes.
this is the Onion. This is not us.
Okay.
Here's the headline. First of all, it's got a young lady that's riding on the back of a beautiful horse.
Yeah.
And the headline is Dressage, which is
Yeah, the horse dancing.
horse dance. Dressage practice super awkward ever since horse and rider stopped hooking up.
They used to have a act like that in Tijuana. It was a donkey.
show. Hey,
50
senor, you want to go by the green door?
I went to a 50-cent show in Tijuana a couple of
little
times
girl,
when I was in the
yes.
Marines. When you drive to the border and you cross the border and then you find a parking lot and these little kids come up, would you like us to guard your car? Yes, I would. Yes, sir, take whatever money you want to guard my car. Because if you say no,
And
it
if you're
won't be
with
there when you get back.
If you're with any woman, buy a purse for your wife.
Yeah, okay.
Buy one for the other wife.
Yeah, right. Okay, I will. I'll do anything you want, kid. I want to see my car when I get back.
That bazaar is just but some of the best, cheapest steak I ever ate.
I don't ever remember
on the
eating
Plaza
any
de la
food.
Revolucion. You walk downstairs, go halfway down to the bazaar, and turn to the right. And built into it was this steakhouse, and I forget the name of it. And it was
Probably fresh
inexpensive.
beef, I
It
mean.
was, and the salsa and everything. It was wonderful.
Wow.
We could 4 of us could in and out of there for $20.
That's
It was
amazing.
unbelievable. All right, John says, I don't know who needs to know this,
Yeah.
but even if a bear wears socks and shoes, he still has bare feet.
He still has hi-oh. He still has bare feet.
Still has bare feet. Here's the making of the news. This is why you can't trust the news.
All right.
Here are headlines from The Guardian. Before Ukraine and after the Ukraine invasion.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ukraine, the most corrupt nation in Europe, which now is the fight for Ukraine is a fight for liberal ideals.
Corrupt liberal ideas, yes.
Reuters says Ukraine's neo-Nazi problem. Now it's for foreign fighters, Ukraine offers purpose, camaraderie, and a cause. Vox,
God.
a Ukrainian comedian turned president, is embroiled in Trump's impeachment mess. Now CNN says Ukrainians are giving 2 lessons in democracy that Americans have forgotten.
Oh, like CNN knows a lot about it.
And New Europe wrote before this, Ukrainian president's rule becomes increasingly corrupt and authoritarian. To the Washington Post today,
Yes.
Zelensky, the TV president turned war hero.
A role model.
You can't trust anything. And finally, We've all been in love. We've all had our hearts broken.
We had
We've
our hearts broken.
hearts.
Yeah.
Here are some love psychology facts that
All
you
right.
may not have known.
I did not know.
Do you want to know how you want to know if someone really loves you?
All right.
Look them in the eye.
Yeah.
If you're really in love, your pupil will expand up to 45%. So if you look at someone in the eye, if their pupil goes up,
I don't like the way you're looking at me right now.
I can't see it. Women are the first to say "I love you" in a relationship in 66% of cases.
Well, I'm thinking. Oh my God, I'm
I think
thinking
it's
back
true.
on my 2 wives. My first wife, my starter wife, blurted it out. We were laughing, or I don't think we were even making out. We were kind of sitting in the car talking or something or other. We were joking around, and I remember saying something like, "I don't know why you didn't want to be here." She says, "Because I love you." And kind of, and I
Awkward.
and I
what did you
remember
do?
well, and so I remember pausing for a second, and she clearly was mortified, and I think I said I think I hugged her and I said I love you too, and it was clear that we were a couple. But she said it first, and I think I said it right. I don't think there was too much of an awkward. I think it was clear that it was appropriate and was okay, but it was just shocking.
I don't have a memory.
But it
like
wasn't
that.
standing out as, oh my God, I got to break up with her. It wasn't one of those things at all.
It was by the time you're at that point, it's kind of a mutual thing. You're basically at the same time.
Yeah, it was clear that it was appropriate. But the second one, no,
A crush.
idiot.
A crush lasts no more than 4 months. If you go beyond that, you're in love.
That sounds about right, probably.
It does. Romantic love lasts 1 year.
Yeah.
After that, attachment love sets in.
Oh, is that what they call it when
That's
they find
good.
it?
Good name.
Attachment love.
Yeah. Some psychologists say that humans cannot be just friends with opposite sex members.
Well, I know they try to pretend they can only be friends. Honestly, I had, the one
Yeah,
who died
you
on me.
said, yeah.
Oh, he only wanted to be friends. He was picking her up he just wanted to be.
I think it's true
friends.
for 99% of people. There's very few people that
Jesus,
can be just
idiot.
friends without any sexual attention going
Yeah.
on, unless one's ugly. Research shows that a woman is.
Which is so true, unfortunately.
It is. Research shows that a woman is more drawn to a person when she is not sure how much he loves her.
Well, they're always like the bad guy.
Oh, the
How
guys
can
who mistreat
go up in
them.
school? That's how they teach them in junior high school.
I had a bad breakup, and the next woman I met, I treated her like crap.
Yeah, there you are.
I didn't beat her or anything. It's just I
Yeah.
ignored her a lot and everything, and could not scrape her off.
Well, I remember the very famous song back growing up as a kid, which stained my fear of women and relationships. And it was Johnny get angry, Johnny get mad. I want a brave man, I want a caveman. How come you let Bobby cut in and you never stop him? I mean, it was like, I want you to beat up the guy and I want you to be a brave man, a caveman. I want a man to. So that's how we grew up thinking at the time.
You would love the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. True love is when you care for their well-being regardless of the status of your relationship.
Well, that's
True.
Yeah.
That is true. And finally, hugs.
Yeah.
Are you a hugger?
Well, you go ahead and then I'll tell you my hugging thing.
I'm a hugger if I'm in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not big. Even though, God, hugs are great. You release so much tension in a hug. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
But especially if a dog hug or something, a dog that's big enough, like Bear was
Well,
big,
animal hugs are a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You ever hug a horse? You ever get a chance to hug?
No, I don't hug horses.
Well, anyway, but I pull a trick on girls when I'm doing. Now I'm not a hugger. I'm not what you would call a
What,
hugger.
you say it's a flashlight in your pocket
No.
or something? Or?
I do that frequently when at a public appearance. I say that is a gun in my pocket. But I'm not a hugger. If I see people I haven't seen in a while, maybe. But I'm not really a hugger. But if I'm in a relationship or if I meet, I remember the first time I hugged a certain woman. I won't mention which one it is. It became a serious thing. And the first time we hugged, and it was clear that we'd seen each other but hadn't touched each other. We hugged at the end of the thing. And we hugged, and it was really great. And then when she started to when she just began to try to inch back a little bit, I said, "Oh, hold on, I'm not quite done. Hold on a second. And I kept holding her, and she laughed.
That's creepy.
No, I didn't. I made her laugh, and she laughed and came back into my arms. And then we ended when I thought it was appropriate.
I'm usually the first to start
Thank you.
ending it. So anyway.
No, you got to do it. You got to make them laugh. You got to, you got to get them off guard, get them off center, get them.
Well, I have so many that it's just,
Well,
Hugs that last over 20 seconds release a chemical in your body called oxytocin, which makes you trust that person more.
20 seconds is a very long time.
Yeah, for sure.
You should be storking at that point.
If you're making out for 20 seconds, you're making out. You're not hugging. I mean, that's making out. I mean, that's a long time. Count 20 seconds. 4, 5,
Let's
6.
see if you can do it. Let's go see if you can do it. Time for Bad Takes Theater.
Get me out of here.
Let's do the Bad Takes Theater. Okay, let's do the next one after the old timer. Yeah, there's nothing more scintillating radio and podcasting than that. And now the counting segment
He's
of the
got
show.
nothing for the Saturday podcast. I don't think out of this one.
All right. All right, you got the first guy, second guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'll be the second guy.
All right. I'll be the first guy. Hence, I will go first.
There you go.
Every morning, I get hit by the same bicycle.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
The vicious cycle, ladies and gentlemen. Take another route. Look out. I got to go. You're killing me. Boys, have a good one. Again, we'll celebrate the 4th of July on Friday. We'll do some patriotic stuff and have a
Special
little fun.
guest.
Huh? And a special guest? Oh, a special guest, of course.
Yeah, my daughter's coming to town. I didn't know I had one.
A
But
special guest. Anyway, hoorah, Semper Fi. I got to go. You're killing me. Like,
sorry, Jen.
Yeah.